It, so how it worked in the Bible is he resurrected and then immediately just pieced out to heaven anyway. He just left.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, we had a miracle. I'm out. That's all you guys need. We're done here.
No, he stuck around for a while, even in disguise.
Also, I forgot to mute the Discord in my thing when I did the first 30 seconds of the stream. So yeah, they can hear us. Hello, how's it going? We're doing more Star Trek today. Normally I mute everyone for the first 30 seconds to let everything get going, let people load in. But yeah, that didn't happen today.
Yeah, totally a cold open. Good times.
Just right in the middle of that conversation. I have no idea what context anyone here has, but
I apologize.
Jesus resurrected. Jesus resurrected. Well, if you believe the story, Jesus resurrected and then just pieced out to heaven. He got out of there real quick. He's done.
Hopped on his triangle ship and headed out.
What I believe, he died, and of course he resurrected, but he's still alive. But he's up in heaven now. He's up in heaven, but he's still alive.
You know who's better than Jesus? Robert Duncan McNeil. And we
Why
get to see him today. He's great. He's a prolific TV director. He's a pretty good actor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. We get the.
But did he resurrect himself?
Tom Paris.
Yeah, he resurrected into
but
Tom
he turned
Paris.
into a lizard.
Yeah.
He resurrected his career as director instead of an actor.
No, if we're looking for Jesus analogs, we need Harry Kim. He resurrects.
Oh, Harry Kim's the best.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Also, that I don't remember her name because she was just in the one episode. The lady who died and then got
Lindsay
resurrected by the
Ballard.
zombie species. Who?
Lindsay Ballard.
Right, Lindsay Ballard.
Hey, my sister's on
the
here.
actor.
The zombie
Hey,
ensign.
My sister's on here. That's my sister you're hearing.
Oh, hello. Was there?
Yeah, I sent her the Discord invite.
Who, Otter Girl is your
She got
sister?
it. Yeah, that's
No.
my sister here. Oh,
No.
Oh.
Or are you speaking
Yes,
figuratively?
You're
sound
his
like-
sister.
You sound like
It's like
that.
something revealing something she doesn't know. Like you're secretly adopted.
Oh no.
The better the distance, it happened.
Go ahead, continue conversation.
I don't think my sisters
Yeah,
would be willing to join. I don't think they know that Star Trek exists. They also don't know that I have a YouTube channel, but they don't need to know that.
That's so strange when you think about it.
She's a big Star Trek fan.
What's
I
strange?
mean, like, me. Well,
Yes.
things like, you have celebrities all over the place. Say, I don't know, Kate Winslet, take one, for example. I don't know if she has any siblings, but... Oh, okay, I remember. I got to meet an Olympic gold medalist in 2012. And her brother and her sister were also there at the press gathering, and she was signing autographs and everything. So I just spent a couple minutes talking with her brother. Everybody has to go to a dentist. Everybody has to shower.
Yeah.
They have ordinary lives, and just like us.
I mean, not Felon. He doesn't even do laundry.
No, I haven't showered in weeks. Like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh, by the way,
glad that you
YouTube
cannot
chat folks,
smell
how's
over
the
Discord.
relative volume between me and everyone else? You could just let me know. I can sort of see it better now because I changed my audio setup, so I have the different sliders for Discord and my voice. But sometimes it just lies to me.
She's Mandalorian. It's really good.
The Mandalorian is excellent. Also, minute and a half till we start. Everybody queue up to TNG, The First Duty. What do you like about The Mandalorian?
Just about everything, to be honest. It's just a great show. But they pay off things very well in it.
Felon, are you watching this outside? What is happening?
Sorry.
Why is there wind? No, Felon, answer the... Why do you have wind inside? What is happening here?
Oh, I have a fan, and I had temporarily leaped right into it. So.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, we can all
Sorry,
just
guys.
breathe
If
into
that
our
happens,
there's no.
if that
wind
happens,
in
just let me
space.
know, or
Actually,
just go
there
ahead and
is.
shoot me. That's fine.
Okay.
Then solar wins.
30 seconds. Everybody queue up. I'm just looking up on script search how many times they say the first duty of a Starfleet officer is. It's a few times. The first duty is to the ship. Worf's first duty apparently is to the Empire.
The Empire.
10 seconds. Should probably get the screen all blurred. And everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I don't know why the countdown just like skipped 2 seconds on the visual, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, it always does that.
Looking forward to seeing Wesley Crusher again. Oh, is she there? Is she there in the back? Oh, we didn't pan.
This episode is great because it's basically just like everyone's mad at Wesley.
Okay.
He's
Why is this so
being
blurry?
A bit of a prick.
That wide shot, did they not remaster that wide shot? It's
I
like
saw that
480p.
too. They must not have had an HD version of that because that looked like just terrible. Wow.
I'm on Netflix and it was blurry.
Yep.
Picard laughing? Horrifying.
In my Star Trek?
In my Star Trek, people having fun and enjoying themselves, they need to be very serious professionals here. Okay, that's kind of a creepy smile from Marina. It's weirding me out.
Picard laughing? He must be a plant. He must have been kidnapped by aliens
Well, yeah,
and
that-
replaced with a worse copy of
that-
himself.
I see.
Yeah, that pan out shot? Whoa, really blurry.
They just lost the footage apparently.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. Like when you originally produced this stuff, they didn't anticipate the rewatchability of streaming or that HD would be such a big, I don't think
Yeah.
they saw that coming. So a lot of that stuff just isn't available at all. And it's funny that we've already had 2 shots in the episode.
Well, we
It's
don't
not
talk
even
about that. We
written
talk about Doctor Who and them expecting to only air it once.
I remember there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
set of Saturday morning cartoons, like from Fox Kids or something like that. Where,
Sorry, watch the stars here.
oh yeah,
Yes, as fake Saturn
Lost.
pans off to the right. Goodbye.
Lost Stars of Jupiter's Rings. There's a certain set of Saturday morning cartoons, I think from Fox Kids, where in the production contract or the publication contract, it said that they could be published on home video, but they didn't say just home video. They specified VHS. And because that was the wording of the contract, they've never been published to home video.
I work in licensing. That you'd be shocked how much that happened. You'd be shocked. I've seen these contracts. Yeah, they did not see anything coming, and if they didn't specify all media or all future media or something like that, which typically they didn't. That's how you end up with stuff for streaming, and it's absolutely crazy.
But even in hindsight, that's strange because you remember I put the oh hello Nico-chan. I remember I put the video of Leonard Nimoy talking about the laser discs in 1981. So it was around, especially if you're in the industry, you should know about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Laserdisc. Yeah, Laserdisc. Oddly, was not something that a lot of people took seriously at the time. And which seems odd because it is such a great form of media, despite being kind of big and cumbersome. Robert Duncan McNeil.
Oh, Robert Duncan McNeil.
Why is Captain Picard telling the mom what happened to her son?
Because Admiral Brand called Picard because they're friends, and she told him.
Oh, he's the newsbreaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is the ship's captain.
I guess that sounds more personal than just another ambiguous medical doctor somewhere having to call you about your son.
Her specifically. Or him to tell her.
Who's this in the picture? Oh, met Will
That's
Wheaton
him.
in 2009.
We got a picture in Discord of Fallon and Will Wheaton.
From Pohoto Bucket.
Oh, Joshua Albert
Yeah,
is dead.
it's
No,
from
it's not.
Photo Bucket. That's how old it is.
Does
No one will never
Photobucket
know what
exist
I look
anymore?
like.
Is that still a website that's valid? Can you go to photobucket.com? Does it?
Yeah, good question.
Apparently.
I don't know. I literally had to find this in my email archives. I just found a link.
Let me see. Photobucket.com.
Yep. Still
Aren't we
there. I
all
believe it
sitting at
still
computers?
exists.
Can't we find this out?
I just typed, yes, Photobucket does exist.
I remember when that was the way that you had to send or put
Oh,
pictures
yeah.
online.
Also,
I
I
remember when-
noticed a background detail when there was in that wide shot of the academy, the flag was at half staff because
Yeah.
Joshua died.
Do you remember early on when Q offered to make Wesley grow up, and he turned him into
Right.
like a
This
He-Man,
big
like,
bodybuilder with the big
buff
square
actor,
jaw.
and yeah,
That's
and then he
right.
ended up just growing up into exactly how he looked then with a scruffy beard.
He's just
He
Will
did?
Wheaton, but tall. It's just the same guy, but taller.
I don't think he got any taller.
No, I don't think
But
so.
hairier. There's also a few deleted scenes for this episode that are available with the DVDs and Blu-rays. I haven't really watched them through, but I think one of them is from this scene.
She
they
has
just-
a
Keep talking for a while and asking questions.
how is he not sobbing or whatever?
He's in shock, man.
He's a
Um,
badass.
Starfleet officer. It's very
She's
professional.
got two
not the first
pips
he's hearing of it, is
around.
it?
No.
Well,
No, they told
actually,
Captain
no.
Picard first and then told the father.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So she's got two filled pips surrounded by a rectangle. What does that make her rank?
She's an admiral. This Admiral Brand.
Yeah, but
played
what
by,
kind of admiral? They have-
Jacqueline Brooks.
There's a lot
I'm
of
assuming
admiral kinds.
rear admiral lower half, which
Yeah.
is which is an 08.
Oh, Wesley gets to play with it. What is it's a elastic? That's what it's called. I hope there's some like padding inside that metal cuff. That looks like it might hurt. Oh,
Yeah.
it has like a leather strap at
So-
the back, actually.
Commodore is 1 pip in a box. Rear Admiral is 2 pips in a box. Vice Admiral is 3 pips in a box. Admiral is 4 pips in a box, and Fleet Admiral is 5 pips in a box.
I distinctly recall that there were
Actually,
two admirals, Nechayev and some other person, who have the same number of pips, but they have different titles.
Yeah. Oops.
Admiral Bitchev.
Admiral Nechayev's just doing her job, man.
I mean, out of all the admirals, she's like the least worst.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the admirals turn out to be like evil
mean,
or just like
she-
really stupid.
She didn't
Most
attempt a
of them.
military coup. She didn't attempt to treason by breaking the
Oh, he has a
Um,
little Constitution class
Treaty of
model.
Algeron.
Hello, Tom.
Oh my God! Look how young
Oh,
he
hey,
is.
Tom. Wow.
It's Cadet Nicholas Locarno.
Oh,
Come
sorry,
on.
Nicholas Locarno, not Cadet Tom Paris, who's in the academy at the same time and has the same backstory
And the same face.
and the same face.
Robert
it's-
Duncan McNeil, of course.
It's just Tom
here.
Paris.
Went on to play
Oh!
Paris. Was also in the movie Masters of the Universe.
So maybe Locarno went into witness protection with his whole family,
Okay.
and that's why you have Tom
Yeah,
Paris.
I mean, do
now.
we need to?
Witness
Do we need to
protection, so they
explain
made him an
why-
admiral, his father.
No, his father was an admiral, but the whole family had to get new names.
The headcanon that I saw that I tend to think of it is that Tom Paris just goes by a different name at the academy to avoid nepotism because his father's an admiral,
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's
or to
interesting.
avoid like
Okay.
bullying from other cadets.
I mean, do we need to explain the real reason why they didn't just use the name?
I mean, 'cause
Well,
they would've
from
there was-
this?
Hang on. There's a real reason about royalties, but then someone, I think it was Robert Duncan McNeil himself, said that wasn't actually true.
Well, that's the company line, is that they say that wasn't actually true, because if they admit that was the actual reason, they might have an issue with the Writers Guild just on those grounds. Like, hey, we're using this character you created, but by changing the name, we're skirting the law. WGA may not be cool about that, but yeah, I mean, that's the reason, is so they wouldn't have to pay the writer who created a character for 100 plus episodes or whatever they did with Voyager.
Everybody's in Mr. Miyagi's backyard.
He sat in a flower bed. What's
This is
wrong with
Ray
him?
Walston. Ray Walston, pretty prolific actor, probably best known for his role in the old TV show My Favorite Martian.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. That's a great show, too. That actually holds up pretty well.
So that Starfleet cadet that was just sitting in the flower bed, was he doing something for like Space Instagram where you go and ruin someone's garden for your pictures? Just go lay in flowers?
They were on that
It was-
planet from the first season
Oh,
where
yeah.
Wesley falls into the flowers. They'd be like, the penalty is death.
It
Goofy
should
had
be.
to reflower that one too.
Maybe it was for space TikTok that's secretly run by the Obsidian Order to collect information on the Federation.
Captain,
I don't get how this guy has enough time, because he helps raise Jean-Luc, he helps raise Chakotay, he helps raise Janeway.
I have a video
How does he
planned for
have
next
time
week
for
about
flowers?
this, actually.
Oh,
but-
good.
As a sneak preview, Boothby is a hologram.
Has to be.
He doesn't
Has to
actually
be.
exist. There's Boothbys like in every area of the Academy.
Because yeah, I just with one of my other podcasts, we covered the boxing episode, and Boothby, yes,
Whoa, have you been doing
teaching
another
Dakota-
Star Trek podcast?
not doing. I need to go.
Yeah.
Did you?
How dare you? Which podcast have you been doing?
Oh god, why am my brain just completely blank on People versus Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they frame it as it is space judge and a prosecution and defense discussing whether each episode is good or garbage. And so the person who's the prosecution and defense, they've seen Voyager. The guy who's playing the judge has never seen Voyager before. So he provides the outside view of somebody watching the show for the first time.
Okay.
And needless to say, there's a lot of garbage in
There
Voyager.
really is.
I
Hey,
love the show.
Ryan,
Especially
anyway.
early on. Especially early on.
Ryan, do you want to start a podcast?
But I already have a podcast.
Do you?
It's this. This is a podcast.
Oh.
This is not a podcast. You could no.
This is not a
no.
podcast.
We don't
Is
have
there an
nearly enough
RSS
tech
feed?
issues for this to be a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we had like 4 or 5 seasons of significant audio issues, but I fixed it eventually. What? Yeah, why does he know all these
Oh, yeah,
people
it's
by their first name?
Ensigno.
What? Ensigno,
So maybe
who will
there-
show up again later, in fact. in
Are there
another
Yeah.
like
episode.
20 Boothby holograms?
There's
like,
as many as there
Not
as they
enough
need.
time.
You can
I
just
like
have
this
unlimited
headcanon.
numbers of holograms.
I take your headcanon and accept it as my own.
Of
I
course, we get
reject your headcanon and substitute my own.
Cito Jackson here, who we get in a later episode, the title of which I can't remember.
It's Lower Decks,
Lower
which
Decks.
is now confusing.
Oh.
Depends on the phrase.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
Captain
Yeah,
America
it's that
had
one.
it.
I think the brown-haired girl, the dark-haired girl, is the only one who doesn't show up again. I don't remember her, at least.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I've seen this episode a bunch of times, and I don't think we ever see her again.
Is this the last Wesley episode before he turns into... Whoa, Jesus, what's with that Vulcan's face? What is that expression? It looks like he wants
Wow.
to murder Tom Paris.
He is actually a Romulan.
Yeah, that's Richard Fancy, who's a character actor, and I think is a good actor, but kind of miscast here because he's very expressive. He played
so
Mr.
put him
Lipman
in
on,
as a Vulcan,
Seinfeld.
yes. Yeah, so this is the last
Yeah,
episode before he
exactly.
turns into, like, Space Jesus and turns into an energy being.
Yeah. Yes.
and then
Excellent.
comes back for Riker's wedding or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
And then he's somehow in Starfleet again. In that scene.
Yep.
don't know if anyone ever did Star Trek: The Tour. I mean, this was so many years ago, but like Will Wheaton as Wesley Crusher is kind of the video guide for the whole thing. And like when I went, somebody was like, "What is he, Starfleet now? This doesn't make sense at all."
A true fan would know that he showed up again for the wedding and had the rank of something, ensign or lieutenant. I think he was lieutenant.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into a debate. Yeah, he's like
They just commission him because, well, you've become an energy being and traveled the universe, so
He's got experience. Maybe it was a non-linear time thing where he explored the universe for like 50 years and then showed up the next day. Is like, actually, no, can I come back?
Maybe it's because the writers of Nemesis didn't realize that he left the show in this manner.
Maybe.
I got I thought I recognized the Boothby, and I did, but not the way that I thought, or whatever.
Oh.
So I grew up seeing the 1980 Popeye movie several times.
Oh yeah,
and he played
Okay.
Popeye's dad in that movie.
that's right.
Not Popeye
And
himself?
Not Popeye. Popeye was played by Robin Williams,
Oh,
believe it or
you're,
not.
Andy, you're
Such
right.
a
He
weird
appears in
movie.
Parallels, an alternate universe.
And
Yeah.
who I always thought was playing Popeye's dad in the 1980 movie was George Carlin, but it's not.
Yeah, they do look similar though with the facial hair for sure.
You were
I was gonna
flying
say the
right
Admiral-
behind this guy, watching him either through the window or on sensors, and you had no idea that he was running into someone until it exploded.
This
Well,
guy's
Admiral's-
loading way too hard.
Believe it or not, that's probably way more common for ships than we think. Even on just water, maybe, for example. You know, if you're in a submarine, how are you really sure that there's not a rock in front of you or whatever?
What is
You
the
can't-
purpose of
Sonar?
this flight training? Because they don't actually have like dogfights anymore in space. They're all tall ships. What are they practicing for?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of reintroduced fighters in Deep Space Nine.
Is this like advanced worker bee training? What are they doing? I guess fighters still exist, they just don't use them. And now it's now it's more of a sport.
Or ceremonial.
The Enterprise E has a fighter wing in it, or was supposed to.
Who is this actor here who plays Joshua's dad? I feel like
Yeah,
I've seen him before.
I can tell you, it's Ed Lauder, who has been in a bunch of stuff like I don't know Cujo, but might be best known for playing the police chief in Death Wish 3.
Definitely not seen that.
Okay.
He looks a little like Pete Postlethwaite, doesn't he?
If you look
Can't
at the
say why
woman
not.
behind Picard, the way she's looking at Tom Paris as he's making these excuses, like she doesn't believe a single word he's saying. She's not on screen right now. Come on, give us another wide shot. They never do. They never listen.
Come on, movie makers from 35 years ago. Come on.
Oh yeah, so this is directed by Paul Lynch, who I directed a ton of television episodes and stuff, but early in his career in like the late 70s, early 80s, directed horror movies, and he actually directed the movie Prom Night in 1980, starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
So we got another shot of the woman with her.
We will reconvene at 1300 hours tomorrow.
Background.
Selma. So that we got another shot of that woman behind Picard, but her face was totally obscured by someone else in the foreground, so I couldn't see her expression. I think the show's just mocking me at this point.
Maybe they knew that people would do this in the future, and they purposely made it that way.
Oh, there's Ensign J, soon to be lieutenant in the background. Of course, now we're never going to get a shot of her again in the wide shot because I mentioned it. But she's to the left of Data.
Was there ever a layout or whatever that anybody knows about that explains what panels in engineering do what?
Not that I'm aware of.
I
I don't even think the tactical manuals really get into it, honestly.
I think Ensign J dipped after she saw Captain Picard come in because of that awkward evening after the poetry reading.
Oh my.
Good. Tom Paris is now gaslighting his squad mates. It's not cool, Tom.
I never realized.
They were
I never
there. They know
realized-
what happened. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I never realized it before, but yes, he is, isn't he? Or they're all trying to collectively absolve themselves, which of course they
Yeah.
can't. So there
So
were
Wesley
five.
is the one that ruins it too. Of course, he's the one who's like can't have it on his conscience because
Good
he's the
job,
golden boy.
He's the wunderkind of ethics.
Me.
Do you suppose they changed the Bajorn nose ridges to make it easier?
Easier for
Wait,
makeup.
easier for who?
In next gen, well, for the makeup artist, I
Okay.
assume.
Yeah, that's
And the
yeah,
actor.
for sure.
Yeah, Ensign Rowe
I
and
think it
Suda
looks-
both have like the forehead thing as well
Right.
Yeah.
above their eyebrows.
And I don't think it looks good in HD, honestly. I think it looks very phony, but again, that's not their fault.
You're a phony.
It's hard to compare it to
A
Deep Space
big
Nine since we
phone.
don't have a HD remaster of that.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
true.
one shot of Kira in high definition, but it's a wide
From
shot.
the documentary.
Yeah. It's a wide shot, not a close up.
First night I met you, Wes. How long have I known you, Wes?
Well, Wesley has been here for what, a year? Maybe 2. He
Yeah, a
left
couple
in that
years, I
episode, the final mission, but I don't remember if that was season 3 or season 4.
And that was season 4, I think.
I
Okay.
think.
So yeah, he hasn't been here that long. He's still a freshman. He just showed up.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's season 4,
Freshman.
episode 9.
Yeah, it's
Freshman
from
meaning
season
he's
4.
somewhere between age 18 and 26, or what? Yeah.
Freshman meaning it's his first year of university.
Did they give him credit for his experience in the Enterprise? Like start him off further on, like
Probably.
sophomore?
No, because
Co-op
remember he was
credits.
supposed to go to the academy and then he didn't,
Yeah.
so he's probably like a year older than a lot of people coming in as like a first year or whatever.
He,
but
he did a summer
think he's-
internship on the Enterprise.
I think he skipped going to the academy twice, didn't he? At least.
Well, the
Right.
first time he took the test, he like.
Right.
Oh, but it's
But
the
the
guilt
second
trip
time
scene.
he was like,
If it matters, Will Wheaton himself is about 19 at the time of the shoot.
Okay. God, every single line this man is going to say is going to be just crushing Wesley's spirit. It's like, yeah, Joshua, he loved flying with you. He loved, being alive, not crushed to death. He loved not exploding. He was your best friend, right? You guys, he really looked up to you.
Died as he lived, being pressured into things he didn't want to do.
Yeah. And he
This is-
was
I mean, we
really
joke,
good.
but
He was
this is
the most
incredibly
honest
sad.
man I've ever met. That Joshua.
God. Valued honesty above all other things. Yeah, this is really heartbreaking. And I love this episode because it's really about, I don't know, peer pressure and honor. And
Oh, he worked so hard to get here, Wesley. It's just too bad that ended for nothing. It's really a shame.
It looks, I get the feeling like if you spread that sweater out to actually look at it, it would be super ugly.
Well, it's a
because
Wesley
of the
sweater.
textures- Because of the textures on it.
Have you seen Wesley sweaters?
Yep.
you
Oh,
know, he's
no.
apologizing to Wesley.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry my son let you down when he died in an explosion that you caused.
All right.
That's rough.
Come on, Wes. Come on, man. You gotta say something. The man's dying over here. Not literally. His son was literally dying. He's figuratively dying. He's dying on the inside.
That Vulcan's just giving him the look.
Yep.
You guys probably know this, but
Tom Paris, just tell him.
if you ever see an exterior of the Academy here, that's the Tillman Water
Hang on.
Reclamation Plant in Los
Yes.
Angeles.
Yep.
Has been used in many, many movies, including like Biodome and In the Mouth of Madness.
So behind Dr. Crusher, there's a Klingon woman. She's not in a Starfleet uniform because reasons. But who is she? Why is she here?
The Klingons are very concerned about what happens at Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, it's an impartial observer.
It's not like someone just showed up and they didn't notice she was a Klingon. They had to put the makeup on her. This was a choice.
She might be a friend of somebody.
Maybe.
She's dating not Tom Paris.
I'm just surprised
No,
she's
she was
not
dating
going on about how
Joshua.
lying is dishonorable.
Every close-up, he just looks so pissed.
He does. The
Wes?
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
You don't even have to specify. The only person, the person
Who's
who looks
just
the most
so
angry.
angry.
Do you think he's a little bit telepathic? Can he sense that there's the Klingon?
I don't think that's
Is it
a
a
Klingon.
Klingon?
I don't think. I think it's just another species with ridges.
That's totally a Klingon.
I didn't see Klingon.
I mean, it sounds to
didn't
me
notice
like
a
you're just
Klingon.
being spacist.
Jaeger Loop, which is got to be named after Chuck Yeager.
Chuck Yeager. Yeah.
Right.
Or you're just really drunk when you do it.
Jägermeister, baby.
It's a real thing. So
A Jaeger loop?
Yeah. But
Oh,
obviously
okay.
not in space.
Mr. Air Force, would you care to weigh in on this?
Yes,
Isn't
because
it?
we're all pilots. Absolutely, I know all about this.
Well, you would know more than anyone else here.
No, I sit on the ground where it's safe.
Okay.
They're all
maybe
pirates in
maybe it
space.
was just invented for next generation.
How is that not a Klingon? Now, if you AI enhance something and it reveals some detail, is that actually admissible as evidence? Because the camera
that's a good
didn't actually
question.
capture that detail.
That's a good question.
And I just googled it.
Deep fake.
Literally, the only reference to a Jaeger loop is from
Is
Memory
next
Alpha.
generation.
It
Yeah.
is the next generation. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it's not a real thing?
Looks
I know
like
it
it's
sounds
not.
cool. It
guess
should be
not.
a real thing. Totally should
Yeah,
be a
Star
real
Trek,
thing.
it's real.
And that's real enough for us.
I mean, this was
Real
all
to me,
real,
damn
right?
it. Sure.
It's going to be real in 300 years,
Mm-hmm.
I assume.
I'm waiting for the Vulcans.
Somehow we dodged the eugenics war though.
Yeah.
Everyone's calling the
I believe
Admiral
when I see
Sir,
it.
by the way.
Yeah, that's very common.
Is in the United States Navy, is that common?
I don't know about real life, but in Star Trek, it's very common.
I think it might be contextual, like because it is a judgment
hearing.
proceeding.
I
Yeah.
know Janeway didn't like to be called Sir, but it was still a valid form of address.
Mm-hmm.
Though
Yeah,
what really threw me
that's-
off is in one of the Star Trek movies when Kirk is calling Savick Mr. Savick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So that's a Navy thing, saying Mister whatever to someone who's also in the military, but the calling a female officer Sir is absolutely just written for this. It is totally not a thing anybody would ever do.
Okay.
They could have given Wesley a younger brother or younger sister to come in and have that same second talk with him too after his mom left. even more
Guilt.
guilt.
Every scene
Just
needs to be
laying
guilty
it
Wesley
on.
Crusher.
Just a train of people. Oh, hey, it's Jordy.
Wow, Wesley, when I was in the academy, someone really tried to peer pressure me into doing something I wasn't comfortable with, but I stood up for my values and
It's defined the positivity in my life ever since. Keep laying it out.
Percy Squares tournament of 24. Wait, what year isn't it? Like I thought it was the
It's
30s.
23, 24.
Yeah, so he was class of 27, he said, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I would put Picard in what, his 60s here?
Well, he was. Picard says he's class of 27,
Right.
which would be 2367.
Current date is
So yeah,
23.
he's like impossibly old in Next Generation.
Yeah, he's like in his
Who,
hundreds.
Boothby or
In Picard.
He takes
Picard.
command of Enterprise when he's 58.
Okay, so he's in his 60s here, early 60s. Season
How old was
5.
Patrick Stewart making this, though? He wasn't.
Not
He's
that
like
old.
40 something.
No way he was that old.
Yeah.
But the assumption is that Patrick Stewart
Okay.
was, I think, about 50
52.
when they made. He was 52 in this episode.
In this, yeah, I just looked up. He was born July 1940.
Oh, hey, Lieutenant J.
And
Ensign J.
this aired 92. So 60,
Hi, Tracy.
yeah, I'm sorry, 51, 52. Hi, Tracy.
But we're also
Lieutenant,
assuming that
Thank you.
humans are able to age more slowly 300 years
Right.
from now because of better nutrition, better medical science, etc.
Yeah, like how old
Oh.
was McCoy when he was on TNG? You know?
142.
137 years, Admiral, according to Starfleet
Okay.
records.
Hell yeah, and he looked fantastic.
No, he didn't. He looked like he should have killed over 30 years ago.
No, that's the walking corpse.
It's like asking to never die of old age, but you just keep aging and aging.
Yeah. Until you end up like the lady from SpongeBob, who's just a stick and hates
Mhm.
chocolate.
Or the one from Doctor Who. What is going on about moisturizing her?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
man,
One
that's a great
person. I
episode.
get one person. That hurts my soul.
I
No,
don't watch Doctor Who. Now
No,
that you
they're
mentioned that,
tough there.
I remember it vaguely because someone showed me, but I don't watch the show. I don't know what to tell you.
It's
I've
literally
only
just
seen
her
a couple
face.
seasons, but I've definitely seen that
Oh.
one.
I love Doctor Who.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
She's stretched
Of
out
course
like a
it's
piece
weird.
of
It's
cellophane.
supposed to
It's
be.
awesome.
Ignite
Yeah.
the plasma. Captain Picard solved it. We did it.
When in doubt, ignite the
Dun, dun,
plasma.
dun.
Oh,
now that
this
I
is
can
the
talk, I
scene.
can't remember what I wanted to say.
And this is the scene where I deep faked Patrick Stewart onto Wesley Crusher.
Oh
And it
yeah.
worked very well, in my opinion. I didn't even have nightmares.
There's a part.
Okay, that is wildly dangerous. I don't know what the depth variation was on those ships, but on the screen they actually touched a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that.
10 meters.
Oh, crossing within 10 meters of each other. Okay.
Yeah, that is wildly dangerous.
The Suicide Starburst.
Starburst. I love Starburst. Actually, no, I don't.
And they were really just banking on the Academy saying, well, it's already at commencement, so I guess we're not going to hold you back. Except Wesley's a first year. He's not graduating. He's not...
Yeah.
Wait, what was Wesley's plan here?
Wouldn't they just drum them all out of Starfleet?
So Nick Locarno is graduating, apparently. So he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, and he was banking on them not kicking him out literally on graduation day. But Wesley went along with it because... Yeah, no, this was never going to end well for Wesley.
He wanted to be cool. He wanted to fit in with the cool guys.
Well, just be one. I get it. I get that. Be one of the cool kids.
Do the cool kids often murder one of the other cool kids?
If it's cool.
Now, that wouldn't be
This
first-degree
is-
murder, but is that third-degree murder?
Or they like dare him to try drugs and then one of them dies from it. I don't know.
I was going to say, this is actually one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Trek.
A lie of
just love
omission
it.
is still a lie.
Yeah, that line has stuck with me ever since I first saw this episode. A lie of omission is still a lie.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of us probably watched this, when we were at our formative years, and like seeing this kind of stuff on television can be really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird to me that in what movie? Insurrection, when they bring out the joystick, everyone rags on that. But that seems like a better interface for flying a fighter than like their 4 buttons
screen.
they have.
Yeah.
They have a button
back.
for turn left and a button for turn right. Why? Just
Doesn't Tom Paris like outfit the Delta Flyer with like a joystick or something of that nature?
Analog flight controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only joystick is on the Enterprise E.
now I'm
Is
not sure
Tom
how well you could fly a
Paris-
tall ship with a joystick, but most the smaller ones definitely should have them.
The Jonathan Frakes device.
Mm-hmm.
Is Tom Paris the best pilot in Starfleet history?
Picard told him.
Canonically, yes, but whether we actually believe that is another question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if maybe Enterprise gave us something.
Well, Enterprise didn't. I mean, Ensign Mayweather was a good pilot, but they didn't really have extreme piloting situations come up in that show.
Didn't he have like a throttle? Like a metal throttle
Yeah,
lever?
it was like a lever, right? Yeah.
But it was
Hey,
just
wait a minute.
for the velocity.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
door
that's
with
not
a
a maneuverability.
doorknob.
A door with a doorknob?
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh.
What the?
There wasn't any grips available to slide it.
It's just it's rustic,
Hmm.
It's vintage.
vintage.
They haven't
Because it's Tom
upgraded
Paris.
storms in 300
Tom
years.
Paris loves vintage stuff. Ancient
But isn't
Earth.
this Wesley's room?
Well, they all have to be the same. All the doors in the Academy are the same, and because Tom Paris is secretly the son of an admiral, even if he goes by a different name, they were accommodating his desire for the rustic, ancient Earth aesthetic.
It looks like the NX-01 had like a steering wheel. Actually.
That's what I was thinking, because it's so far back, like they had to do things more kind of ad hoc and manually. So
Was it like a steering wheel or more like a yoke where
They didn't.
it's only a
They definitely
curve
did
on
not have a
each side?
steering wheel.
I'm looking at a picture of it. It's
or some kind of steering interface or whatever. Yeah.
and what they used in the set, what looks like a steering wheel from a race car.
That might have only been like for thrusters at low speed or something too.
Yeah, if you could put a picture of that in the Discord so we can see what you're referring to, that would be ideal.
Yeah, because you're not steering at warp speed. But
No. Right.
I thought you were cool, Wesley. Oh, I could see Nick Locarno's zipper on the back of his shirt there.
It's probably supposed to be a type of yoke, but I think they used a padded steering wheel.
I think you're entirely correct. Yes.
I can't tell what part of the control
So-
panel you're talking about.
I think he's talking
Bottom
about
right.
this thing on the. Well,
You can
there's
see
like
it kinda
a
better in the
joystick
second
thing
picture.
here where you like turn it left and right, and maybe it goes in and out. And there's also a wheel here.
Yeah, like the left and right lever, I would assume is something with velocity, but
Why does it have a handle though? Why is there? What's this for in the right?
this is so. It
The
looks so
handle
weird.
is just to hold on to, and it's the ship when you need to shake in your seat.
Can we talk about the case?
The
fans
handles
on
to help
top
you
of it,
sit
though?
down if you.
The what on top?
The
Oh, the case
computer
fans.
case fans.
Well, it's cooling
The
the
heck?
the ensign. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure, don't worry about it. Yeah, I was gonna say the handles for helping you sit down if you're a bearded man with chronic back problems, like Riker.
According
Yeah, that
to
chair
Amazon
looks like it would be
Trivia,
really hard to get out of.
Robert Duncan McNeil said in an interview that although Paris and Locarno may seem similar, they're actually quite different. Paris seemed unpleasant and self-serving, but deep down he was a good person. He just made some bad choices that led to some unfortunate consequences. Locarno, on the other hand, while nice and charming on the outside, was actually a really nasty person on the inside.
That's a flimsy definition of each character, though. I think they're both much more layered than that.
Well, bring it up with Robert Duncan McNeil.
I believe
maybe
him.
I will. He's directing new episodes of Resident Alien,
Okay.
I'll send him the stern facts.
which is a good show.
I mean, he has a Patreon with Garrett Wong. You could try and message him there. to
Are
yell
you
at.
on
yeah.
that
Or maybe
Patreon? Did they fix that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
that's all fixed.
I'm just looking at like the shift lever, and it looks like it's off of a 2002 Honda Accord. Like they just took the automatic shifter.
Well,
out,
guess what
and they
year
were
this show
"This-
aired?
I have a 2002 Civic, so I'm not sure.
That sounds like exactly what it might be then. Okay, so there's the angry lady again behind the dad. The contrast between the Vulcan's bowl cut and his super serious angry face is just weird.
Tweet at Robert Duncan McNeil.
What are you gonna do? Call him a fraud?
No, Odo's a fraud.
No, she already rang the bell, Wesley. It's too late.
Well,
What?
but I rang the little bell. You can't.
Yeah, this is over. You're done
Yeah.
here.
But she can override herself.
You can't override the bell. There she is, angry lady. She's not as
Oh, yeah.
angry in this scene. She was way angrier before, but she's still moderately angry.
Now, this is really a heavy thing because all four of these kids, even Wesley, who I assume we're supposed to believe is taking it the hardest emotionally, they've all got to live the rest of their lives knowing that they let that happen.
Yep.
And they've got to have somebody else's death, unnecessary death, on their shoulder.
Wesley probably feels a little bit absolved because he admitted it, but like Sito's going to have a really hard time. Which is probably
Yeah, well, she
directly
doesn't
what
have
leads to her death in Lower Decks.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I'm just
I was
thinking like
just
she's
gonna
trying
say
to
she doesn't have
prove
to live with
herself
it.
and going with something that's super dangerous to prove herself.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when we get to that episode, Captain Picard's kind of like gaslighting her the whole time. And he's kind of manipulating her into accepting the mission, feeling like she needs to accept it.
Yeah, actually, I met Robert Duncan McNeil at the convention this year. Or last year.
Right on.
This year, that seems unlikely.
Some year. Yeah, some year.
What was he
Last
like?
week.
What was he like?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Right now he has a beard.
Yep.
Whereas before he didn't. Obviously, he doesn't have a beard. He didn't have a beard then, but now he has a beard.
Oh
I
man,
got to
I'm trying to
I got
picture
to-
him with a beard.
I got to see him at a convention something like
I'm
1999,
gonna send you a picture.
I want to say. Or maybe it was a few years later.
Well,
Yeah,
let
he was
me
still
open up.
acting at that point.
Let me open up Robert Duncan McNeil's Patreon, and we can get a quick shot of him.
I tweeted at him, but I'll let you know if I get a response. Jeffrey Combs blocked me, by the way.
Why did?
No.
Wait, what did he
Oh
say?
my gosh,
Jeffrey
wait.
Combs blocked you?
Wait. So funny story about Jeffrey Combs is that I'm originally from LA. I was sort of born and raised in LA, and I went to school and was best friends with his daughter. And so I hung out at his house a lot.
What
My
area
parents-
did you grow up in?
So like North LA area, like
Like Pasadena or
no, like West Hills, Woodland Hills, Northridge,
Okay.
like north of there. But yeah, so I used to go over to his house all the time.
Did you go to Westlake?
No.
Okay, sorry. I live in LA, so I want context.
Oh, okay. Well, I think
Yours
yeah,
sounds
I
like
don't.
up here.
So yeah, no, we went to elementary school together, but then I
Oh,
don't
cool.
remember anything. I don't remember if we went to the
So-
same middle school or high school, but
To
my
finish
parents
this
were like
episode,
freaking out. They were like, "It's Wayun! Oh my god!"
That's awesome.
Right, so
To
that was
finish this
the first
episode-
duty.
You keep in touch with her?
No, I wish I did though. Honestly, that was like before I got into Star Trek. I mean, this was like second grade, so I was just watching reruns with my parents. But I honestly really wish that I like kept in touch with her. Maybe I'll try to
Did
hit
your
her up on
parents
Instagram.
realize who he was?
Oh yeah, they knew who he was. They knew who he was. They had really long conversations with him. They were like, "Oh my god, you're going over to Wayun's house."
He's
Yeah.
oh man.
everybody's
that's
got a
amazing.
dentist. Yeah.
So there's Robert Duncan McNeil on the stream.
Yeah,
he
this
looks
is-
like
it's
Robert.
Oh,
not
he
very
does
high
have a beard.
resolution.
That's crazy.
Not as much as a
Wow.
beard as I thought he had,
Whoa.
but he does have a beard.
Well, it comes and goes. He might have trimmed it on this
Pretty-
particular day.
Pretty big.
No, I mean I can remember it now. Now when I
But Garrett Wong looks the same.
when I met him at
Yeah,
the convention,
why
that's
was
just such a of a beard that
Holy
beard
shit.
that he had.
Garrett Wong hasn't aged in 25 years.
Okay,
To
so
finish,
Oh, yeah.
the next episode, cost of living, 1 minute countdown. Bill, do your thing.
okay, to finish the previous episode now, in all seriousness, if that had been again in the United States Navy, what would have actually happened? Would they have all been expelled? Even if would they have all been expelled? Would they have been brought up on any criminal charges? What?
I would assume criminal charges. Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you have a
Wow.
death like that, I mean that's pretty serious. So yeah, I don't know how bad of a sentence it would be. It might just be something suspended. but it's-
Involuntary manslaughter. I mean,
Yeah,
at least
that's a pretty big deal. The issue is like it's one of those
Gross
things that
negligence.
you couldn't keep it under control press wise. Now the way you could in the future. It seems like so. Yeah.
Okay, I always thought that it was way unrealistically lenient, and now I know.
No,
that,
I
yeah.
totally agree.
All
with
right, hang on.
that.
Everybody get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And blur the screen.
I mean, it is, involuntary manslaughter. You're going to be on, like, super spaceships.
This scene, this is the bit where we have an intake where Captain Picard and Riker hold hands when they sit down.
Aw.
And Captain Picard is wearing slippers.
We get action early in this, man. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Blow up that rock.
Great.
That's
You
not a
know,
cold open,
in
that's a
major
hot
bets.
open.
Oh, I guess Jeffrey Combs didn't block me. He just
But did Picard tell Riker to ready torpedoes? He just took it upon himself.
Well, Riker has, authority.
Also, if you're Worf, you can also do some things preemptively, like load the torpedoes, so that when he says load the torpedoes, you can say they're done. Every second counts.
After Bridge Crew, I know how boring tactical can get, so no wonder Worf is so itchy with his trigger finger.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you guys have a good time with that?
Yeah, he does have authority.
Yeah, it's a good game. I in fact played a little bit more of it just with some randoms. But
Cool.
yeah, I recorded that as well. I
Ryan.
might put it up next week. It's a really good game. I really enjoy it.
Ryan. Yeah, on behalf of your fellow channel watchers, I want more Bridge Crew videos.
Ooh, sprinkle.
I'm down to play some more.
This is not the perfect mate. I just realized it.
No.
like
If you're going
all
to
of
be
the-
playing Star Trek Bridge U, I highly recommend against the Oculus Quest 2, because the Oculus Quest 2, they technically are selling it for that platform, but it's super broken. It's incredibly buggy. It barely
Oh.
works.
Hmm.
That
So
sucks.
so we're doing this episode. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna go cut my hand, give my hands paper cuts while it's inside of a bottle of lemon juice. I think that
The
might be a more
higher
enjoyable
the
experience
The
with
viewer.
sitting here. Can we blow up this episode?
No. I'm really excited for this
God.
episode because I haven't seen it in a really long time.
We have to
And
watch through
since
it.
the last time I've seen it, I have a greater appreciation for really terrible episodes.
I know of a podcast where they have a category of their own episodes called "The Worst of Trek."
And is this near the top?
I don't know. I've never actually listened to any of their episodes, probably because I've never really even seen them, including Sub Rosa.
Not missing
Oh
much.
god.
I mean, it's
That's
no
the-
code of honor, so it does have that going for it.
As a matter of fact, I'm not even certain that I have ever seen this episode before. Maybe, maybe not.
Do you remember
Leave
the
now,
line, the
your
higher the
life is
fewer, and
better.
a mud bath with Loxana Troy?
Oh,
Your
yes,
life is
I
so
do.
much better right now. Just come back in 40 minutes.
No.
I remember
You
the
must
mud
watch it.
bath. You're just supposed to sit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys want to do like some Star Trek
And
Bridge Crew, I mean,
watch
I got some time today. Or tomorrow. It's the weekend. I got nothing to do.
Hey, Ryan, here's some of the edits you did.
See that? Place your soiled
doing
clothing in the garment reprocessor. You got to do your laundry.
Ryan, didn't you do an edit? Didn't you just do an edit here? The
Oh,
one of the TNG intakes?
yeah. Not in
I
this
remember
specific,
it
but
from
yeah,
that.
this episode.
I
Yeah.
can remember it. Yeah.
With Worf saying,
I-
I listened to my parents.
I haven't seen it. That's cool.
Yeah, the scene I used was a deleted scene. So we won't actually see it in this episode.
No. I'm just saying good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, so one of the funniest one of the ones that made me laugh the most that you put up recently was the Worf restrains himself one.
Oh,
Like I was
find him and kill him.
find him and kill him. Yeah, that one cracked me up.
Did a real 180 there, Worf.
Death.
To the opposition.
It's like, oh yeah, Masters of the Universe, where James Tolkien is also one of the characters in that.
That movie is terrible.
With
And
Dolph
Frank
Lundgren.
Langella.
Yeah, it's
So- Worf right now is being taught how to be a better father by Deanna. Now, Deanna is a parent, kind of. She had the space baby that one time.
Kind of. How long ago was
Uh,
that, or is that in the future?
That was season 1, probably, based on how awful it was. It might have been
I
season
think
2.
that was season 1.
Yeah, it was very early.
Oh no, it was season 2. It was the pilot of season 2 because I remember that was how
Yeah.
Pulaski was introduced. She was talking to Troy.
Season 2, episode 1. Oh my god.
Yeah, and Picard was
She's
really
doing
angry at her for
How
not
many
like reporting
times-
into him, and she was like, "No, I got things to deal with Troy, who is now space pregnant."
Hey, we also see a TNG blooper too. Not here, but they'll come up right now.
Directed by Winrich Colby.
Never heard of him.
We've mentioned him before. I don't remember where. I think he directed some really good episodes. Look, he either directed
Directed all
some
good
really
things.
awesome episodes or some really terrible episodes. But in any case, he's memorable.
Directed all good things.
Really? Okay.
All good thing. Okay. Such good breeding. That's such a weird thing to obsess about.
He's like a Great Dane.
They haven't met,
So
have they?
No.
Has anybody ever been? So this is very actually interesting. This is like a cross between a mail order bride and what's the word I'm looking for? Arranged marriage.
Subspace ordered husband.
This just sounds like Match.com gone crazy.
I mean, I remembered a line from season 1 or 2, because of course it was season 1 or 2, where Loxana Troy specifically calls out that in Betazoid culture, men are property. Especially in relationships. And
Jesus.
I don't know how this is going to work with someone who she considers to be royalty, if he's still going to be property to her. Though it does
Isn't
explain
that
why she
the,
doesn't have a boyfriend, because she's just an awful person.
That's the inverse of Ferengi, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ferengi are also terrible people in that respect. Yep, 100%.
Hey, when Picard and Mike are in the corridor talking, can you look for a blooper? It's there.
Which scene?
For a mistake that was there.
Okay. Fair and balanced.
Yeah. It's like Bill O'Reilly.
Mr. Wolf.
I think Deanna might be a little more fair and balanced than the fair and balanced, though. Sanctioned? You can't have put sanctions on a child. What are you talking about? What does that mean?
His bank accounts will be seized. The EU will be very unhappy with him.
God. Loxana, don't you dare take him to a mud bath.
Yeah.
So has anybody here ever been to a Betazoid wedding?
Well,
Dude,
no.
Dude,
What?
you know these are all fake people, right?
Okay,
Now, Bill, I have some very important things to tell you about Star Trek.
Look up in this scene.
In this scene.
Take your brain medication.
I don't remember any outtakes from this scene. I might just
You
be
missed
forgetting.
it when when Picard is talking to Riker right now. But as they were talking and they were turning, there was a boober up at the top. Apparently there was a boom mic that was shown, and that shouldn't have been there.
Oh man, I love seeing Boom Mike.
Boom mic.
Also, that one scene in Best of Both Worlds where you get to see Picard's slippers. To avoid making noise on the set, of course.
Loxana Troy seems to make an awful mother-in-law and an awful mother, but a really awesome grandmother.
Loxana Troy is the crazy but fun aunt. Or aunt. Or who you don't want to spend much time with. Maybe like once every couple of years she'll show up. An absolute nightmare to live with, but maybe fun to visit.
Oh, she paraphrased Mark Twain there.
What, are
If you
we
always
just getting...
tell the truth, you don't have to remember so much.
Are we just getting a young child version of the last episode? What's happening? Is she going to talk about lies of omission?
What is
the first duty of every Klingon child is to the truth. You hate him? Well, your mother's dead, Alexander. You're going to have to get over it. Got stabbed. It's okay, though. Worf stabbed the guy who stabbed her.
And then Picard was all pissed off at Worf for that.
Yep. It's okay, though. The murder took place on a Klingon ship. Therefore, it's okay.
Yeah.
A mud bath?
She
Yeah,
just
mud
a
bath.
spoonful of sugar now.
She's got a bunch of, like, infinity stones on her belt.
Those free thinkers.
There it is, the mud baths.
Wait, are we tying in the MCU now? This changes everything.
Once again, Lwaxana talking to herself.
Well, Captain Picard is Professor Xavier, so
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, it's
in
giant Lego
the comic
piece.
book, they had a crossover in the comic books.
Oh,
I think I have that.
It's the Bubble Man.
Oh, cool.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, there we go.
Ugh.
Wait, that man's facial expression... Okay, this is a weird thing, but the man's facial expression
is
in the bubble looked
incredibly
really
creepy.
familiar. So that's Larry Hankin, the Wind Dancer, the Bubble Man. Let me see if
Larry
he's in anything
Hankin.
else.
Oh wow.
I don't think this beer is strong enough.
He's a
He
Star
shows up
Trek
in a
mod.
few episodes of Voyager as Gaunt Gary. Who the heck is Gaunt Gary?
What?
Whoa. That's
Larry
not as
Hankin
impressive.
He's a
is
holodeck
the junkyard
character.
guy on Breaking Bad. If that helps anybody.
That's still not as impressive as Gandalf blowing a ship through a smoke ring.
I think this is incredibly weird and kind of unsettling, this whole sequence, but in HD, I think it looks great.
Well, it's supposed to be super
Oh,
silly.
Catherine, for our laughing hour.
It's it's like the happy hour, except you're 7 and you're not 22 at the bar or whatever.
You're not doing a good job of protecting them. Why are you juggling them? Keep them in a box. What are you doing? Also, is that... Those aren't earmuffs. That's just his ears go all the way around.
Yep.
Thing 1 and Thing 2. This is like Star Trek version of Wonderland.
Yeah.
I posted some pics of the crossover X-Men Star Trek Next Generation comic.
Dude, that's amazing.
Nobody gets in to see the wizard.
There should just be this moment where Picard and Professor Xavier are staring at each other like, huh.
Like, wow, you're
So-
a handsome man.
This episode was written by the same person who made the story for In the Pale Moonlight.
What?
Wait,
Really?
what? Are you kidding me?
What?
According
Well, they
to
can't
Star
all
Trek-
be winners, I guess.
Peter
Ugh.
Allen Fields. He also did
Oh
another Lwaxana episode with Half a Life where she had the dude who was killing himself.
Oh, that one's actually good.
He wrote the Inner Light teleplay, not the main story, but just the script for it.
Oh, that's pretty impressive, actually.
I feel incredibly betrayed by this episode now.
Oh, this is so
One of
Dr.
my
Seuss.
favorite
Look at this
episodes
shit.
of all of Star Trek, and this thing.
The
Ugh.
Viewer.
No, I'll take you one better. Literally, my favorite episode of Star Trek of all time is in the Pale
Yeah.
Moonlight, and then we got
Or, like,
this
maybe
with
one
the
of-
Whoville shit.
Which
Let
is
me bring
like
that
one
up
of
on
the
screen.
worst of
Episode
all
of a
Star
serial
Trek.
television show.
Okay,
This
here's
is
all the
embarrassing.
episodes that he wrote in some capacity. Half a Life, Cost of Living, The Inner Light, Dax, Progress, Duet, The Circle, Necessary Evil, Blood Oath, Crossover, For the Uniform, In the Pale
Wow.
Moonlight, and The Dogs of War.
Is that statue of Romulus and Remus?
Oh, I didn't see it.
I was looking
This
at
is-
looking at writing credits.
The episode, the diversity of quality in those episodes is just striking. Like, there's
Yeah.
some real great episodes, and there's some terrible ones in there.
See, I would say Pale Moonlight is my absolute favorite, but then you've got Chain of Command, especially Chain of Command Part 2.
Jeez.
And it's just
I love Chain of Command, but I just love the singularity of In the Pale Moonlight. Like,
oh yeah,
it's incredible.
His speech at the very end in the last 30 seconds of the episode. Ooh, chills.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
often watched that with people who have never seen a single episode of any Star Trek ever, and they totally understand the context and think it's a great short film, you know?
I can live with it. I can.
Ooh, computer, delete that entire personal log.
So
yeah.
Those cups that they're holding, they're made of sugar or something. They're edible cups. Is the mud also edible? Like you dip the cup in the mud and then drink the mud and eat the cup?
I don't think they're drinking the mud.
Yeah, that's horribly unhygienic if that's the case.
I always
but it's
assume it's
holodeck
made out
mud.
of the. I always assume it's made out of the same stuff as ice cream cones, not waffle cones, but the regular kind.
Yeah, but now that I see that kind of thing, I'm wondering why that's not a more thing.
Oh, please
not
pop
a
it,
bigger
Worf.
thing in real life.
Worf,
Edible
get your
cups.
phaser. Wait,
Pop it.
Worf, shoot him. Shoot him.
Batleth, Mechleth, stab it.
Death, just shoot the entire holodeck.
Have they introduced the Mechleth at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Worf. Now, I would have preferred a sword to do that, but your hand is appropriate.
That is a buff.
Okay, this makes me uncomfortable. I don't like anything about this.
You know, it's for
There's an
children.
animated GIF for you.
Yeah, why is this a children's program? What's happening here?
Is this becoming a channel where we just watch porn together?
Why is there a naked body paint lady dancing in front of the child?
You could also just see this as naturalistic, you know.
She'd have 20,000 subs on Twitch.
I mean, it's the future, man.
Can they
It's all
eat the
good.
cup? Also, hello. Also, can
Hi.
they eat the cup?
The boy.
It's a very tasty cup.
Cups are laced with drugs
Mr.
that make
Wolf?
them trip out.
Similar to Wolf.
I
She's
do
just
love
eating
her.
tomatoes now.
Why is Luoxan on the Enterprise again?
She's getting married and she wants to have the wedding on the Enterprise and she wants Captain Picard to give her away.
Okay.
She's trying to make Captain Picard jealous. Come on. It's all a big scheme to make Captain Picard jealous and pronounce his love for her.
I just watched this and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care.
And apparently Mr. Home is a very good tailor. Good for you, Mr. Home.
Mr. Home could be running the ship if he wanted, but he chooses to stick by her side.
There would be some issues with that. Aside from the talking, he's also an alcoholic.
Is Mr. Holm the same
course,
species as the Negus' servant?
Mayhardu? No.
Mayhardu? No?
No, they just have multiple slave races in Star Trek.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Gestural T. Why is it taking so long to replicate the gestural T? It's still beeping over there.
Oh, that's the technical problem. Oh, kielbasa.
Okay, now we got the B plot. I don't even know what's the A plot and what's the B plot.
The ship got
Is there
infected
even
with
a
some type of
plot?
stuff.
Ew!
Sausage flavored tea.
That's just gravy.
Oh yeah, I forgot because we had the sparkly space dust come in the Enterprise and it's been like crawling around the place. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Ever since
We've only seen it like twice.
I love this layering of the reflection of the light moving over their faces. I just think it's really interesting.
It was an
This
awkward
blocking
part.
with the bars.
More
They
crawling
switched
through the
into
metal
the
grates.
jumpsuits.
Why did they change into jumpsuits though?
They look damn good.
It's dusty in there, maybe. I don't know.
They had a lot of that in early on. Whenever they're in engineering, a lot of the crew had those jumpsuits.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of went away. Here they are
Geordi and
again.
Leah Brahms also wear these when they're in the tubes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you can
Okay.
take off the upper part of the jumpsuit, and you have like a tactical stealth vest.
Apparently the
Hey,
ship
it's
is
funny that
leaking.
you're
Oh,
at
hey,
the
there's
Ren
Mr.
Fest.
What are you wearing, Mr. Home?
She's wearing a powder wig. What the heck?
Well, she wears wigs all the time.
The wig matches the dress pretty well.
We have a whole episode about how much she loves wigs.
It's Lurch.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lurch. It's the actor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Addams Family movies.
Oh, from the movies. Okay.
And,
Oh, from the
and
movies,
he's in
not the-
Twin Peaks. He's the fireman in Twin Peaks.
Okay,
Name
but not the original
is-
TV series.
Yeah.
Carol Straykin. No, not in the 60s
Couple
or
decades
50s.
after.
Yeah. No, from the 90s movies. Yeah.
He's also in Voyager, right?
Is he?
No idea. What's his name? Carol
Carol
Struycken.
Straykin. Yeah.
Let's find out where he's in.
He's Dutch.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that comes into play in Voyager. He is in
but-
Voyager. He is Spectre in The Thaw.
Ah.
Oh, he's got a full costume on.
Yeah, he's not the
Oh,
clown.
man.
He's just some guy that's there.
Oh, I love that episode so much.
So reading the wiki,
He
they
is
call
7
the
feet tall.
Spectre a combination of Bigfoot and a rotting corpse. Is that from dialogue in the episode? Or is
What?
that just somebody just decided to...
Yeah, no, that's
Compare
definitely not
the thing.
dialogue. Apparently, he was also in Sinterklaas en het geheim van het grote boek.
Santa Claus?
Sinterklaas en het geheim van het
Oh,
grote
Sinterklaas.
book. It's a light-hearted
He was
family
in-
film for the youngest viewers in which the evil Dr. Brine crowns herself as new Sinterklaas in order to sabotage the annual gift night.
And kill some children because it's German.
Probably. No, it's Dutch.
Oh, okay. Never mind. The children get chocolate.
He's also in Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
Oh, excellent. I also don't know if it's actually Sinterklaas. I know that's German, but this actually says Sinterklaas with 2 A's. It might be Klaus. It might
Oh,
be
yeah.
Klaas.
That's totally a German thing. Or a Dutch
No,
thing to change.
Sinterklaas is what is correct. Klass.
Yeah.
No, Klaas.
I'm starting to merge in languages here.
Well, yeah, Dutch is weird. Dutch is like if German and English had a very strange baby.
Okay. Like if German and English had their DNA altered when they went through a transporter
And
merged together.
so we're calling Dutch Tuvix now,
yes.
which means we
Correct
need to
myself,
murder the Dutch language to
Yeah.
get German and English back.
Yes, exactly.
But there was
Because we
also a
like them
flower.
better.
What happened to the flower?
It was in his
Uh,
clothes.
Yeah, why didn't the... Yeah, maybe he was
Why
just in
didn't they
his
get
pocket.
the flower out?
Maybe they destroyed the flower. They destroyed it in the transporter beam. Out of spite. That's some good shaking, Patrick. And Brent. God, now I can't even see how... I don't think Jordy was shaking at all, actually.
I'm getting seasick.
Yeah, no,
This is no
LeVar
good.
Burton isn't shaking.
Stop. I want to get off.
He was stabilizing himself.
The Enterprise is such a huge. The Enterprise is such a huge thing that if it was the whole ship was shaking like that, you would think that some part of it would break off of the rest of it.
Right. Well, that's what the structural integrity fields are for.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about
Localized inertial dampers.
it. Here's some good.
Marmalade,
That's what they do.
Some sort of
It's
corrosion.
ectoplasm.
Delicious. Where's Worf to eat it? Come on.
You say they're unrelated. I mean, Captain, we've had this issue before where unrelated systems are going down. Before it was because of the technicians. Do we want to consider that as a possibility? We've literally had this exact issue.
Kind of looks like
Triangle ship.
personal lube.
That's a triangle.
Oh,
it's
that is the
mainly a
triangle.
We're up to 37 triangles.
Whee!
Now, I've seen this guy here before many times, I think.
That is Tony J.
Those are sweet
Tony
lobes. You think those
J?
are some real lobes?
Holy smokes!
Those are fake lobes.
Yes, those are absolute. I don't think they stretched his lobes for this. That would have been excessive.
That is Tony J. Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, that name doesn't actually mean anything to me, but it sounds like it's very important.
Well, he played Judge Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's done a lot of different voice acting. He's got
He's
a lot
a voice acting god.
He was also in Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
I need to watch
Jean-Luc
Twin Peaks,
looks-
apparently.
He was
Jean-Luc
in
looks
Night
genuinely.
Oh, Night Court.
Jean-Luc looks genuinely happy here. He's like, oh, the man who's finally gonna get her out of my hair. Wait,
Okay, he sounds like a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
What's he happy about?
He sounds like he voiced an old school adventure game as an evil wizard.
You're partly correct. He did do many prominent voices in King's Quest VI in 1992.
Okay, King's Quest. Oh, yes. I've never played it, but I watched a playthrough of it of King's Quest VI. I think he plays one of the dogs, a guard dog.
He plays Captain Saladin of the Guard
Yes.
Dogs, and he plays a couple other roles in the same game. I'm really amazed that you knew that.
Well, I've never played. I just watched other people play it. Yeah, he plays Captain Saladin. And now that I'm thinking of the voice, he plays the door in Styx. By the
he
river
plays the
Styx.
gate in the underworld.
Yeah.
He's Shere Khan on like Tailspin and the Jungle Book. Like he's everywhere, man.
So my adventure game rants have finally come full circle. I feel very satisfied.
I mean, if we had Michael in here, he could tell us about adventure games as well. He plays some on his Twitch. Star Trek adventure games.
Also in King's Quest VI, there was Robbie Benson, who played Prince Alexander, and Robbie Benson played the Beast in Beauty and the Beast in 1991.
I'm gonna link to someone else's YouTube channel in the YouTube chat.
why does Worf have the thing that Tasha used during the Code of Honor?
Just pick up the child and put him somewhere else.
The poison fist.
I don't
This
know.
is one of my favorite dialogue exchanges between Worf and Alexander.
See that link I put in the YouTube of the King's Quest
what are
6
you doing,
playthrough, I
Alexander?
highly recommend it. It's very good, very amusing.
The best Let's Player on YouTube is Dillando 3000.
A
King's
warrior
Quest
never
6.
breaks his word. Delando, you said?
No.
Dillando 3000. DILANDAU.
Understand later.
Alexander, eat your cherry tomatoes.
Understand later.
What do you mean, Alexander?
And then just
Father,
leave?
the higher the fewer. Yeah, that's all you need to say.
Damn straight.
I know how I'm ending out the stream now. Friends,
Ryan.
company.
So what-
Yes, Rob.
I'm taking over your show. The higher, the fewer. Now
The
leave.
higher the fewer. Should I have a day where we just play adventure games in a voice chat?
Yeah, that would be fun. Which games we would play with
it would have to be a game that none of us have played before, so we can't cheat.
Oh no.
The
That might
woman
be
should not be
fine.
addressing you.
Can we
unfamiliar.
can we talk trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. I'm
like
in, baby.
Pac-Man 2. There's an adventure game.
Pac-Man?
What's that?
What?
Pac-Man 2.
Is Pac-Man
It
2 an
is
actual adventure
a-
game, or are you making things up?
I'm not making things up. It is an artifact of bizarreness. It's my
Pac-Man?
homework.
Oh my God.
I became obsessed with it.
This is a real thing.
It is. and it's terrifying. You can't actually control the character. You can only prod him and throw things at him, and he gets very emotional. As in, emotions are important to solving puzzles. And
you know what I have to say about that game concept? The higher, the fewer.
Did you say Hackman or Pac-Man?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Like the Yellow Circle Man.
Yeah.
You said
It's what you were hoping I didn't say.
Hackman is in the yellow guy who eats little dots, or Hackman is in Gene Hackman, who started Ouija.
Or as in Hackerman.
who was in Kung Fury.
Don't they ever let you change those colorless outfits? Well, apparently Troy's choosing your outfit for herself because she doesn't have a uniform. God, now all I can hear is Captain Saladin. This character is ruined for me.
I look at Carl Stroken in this, and he's got this look on his face like, so this is what I'm doing as an actor now, huh?
A prenuptial consultation.
A servant.
Very romantic.
Oh, that's what
You're calling
calling
Alexander a servant?
I think they were talking about Mr. Home there.
I feel bad for Alexander. My heart goes out to him.
Yeah.
Because he has a
He's
terrible
kinda- he's a
father,
little
or...
twerp.
He's just got it rough. Then he goes to the Klingon ship, and nobody respects him.
Oh, sparkly space dust. They found it.
Now, I call
Just
lies
hide
on
somewhere
this that
else.
there are no pieces left, because I'll tell you right now, you do not get glitter out that easy.
Unless it's
They're going to be cleaning glitter out of this ship after it explodes.
Yeah, it's like,
Let me
if
tell you
you-
about
if
how
you-
impossible it is to get glitter out. I don't have children. I live by myself, and I basically never visit my relatives that have children. They don't live here. And yet somehow I still have glitter on my floor a little bit that I have to clean up.
Well, you gotta stop dating strippers, man.
I don't know how it got here. There's just this tiny little sparkly butterfly that was on my floor. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who. I assume it.
Dude,
I
you
assume
shouldn't have invited Mandy over to have wine after work, man. That's how this stuff happens.
Oh, okay.
Maybe from your front porch or somewhere, your backyard.
It's like, where did this tiny little butterfly come from? I assume it's from my niece that I somehow like tracked it in from my brother's house. I don't.
You know what? You know what it might be, and I've had this issue too. And this is why I hate buying greeting cards, because greeting cards have glitter on them a lot, and that comes off really easily.
Maybe.
And I've stressed to my relatives how much I hate getting greeting cards with glitter or anything like that on it, and some will purposely like not send it, but then my brothers, because they're assholes, they will send me cards. They will have glitter on the cards, but then they will throw extra glitter in the envelope, which is a problem.
Well,
Just for you.
just know that they suffer the most by having it in their house to begin with.
So they have to inflict it on others.
They've got kids, so they've got glitter and
they signed up for
everywhere
this
in their house anyway. Yeah. So they just want to share that with me that's their gift to me every Christmas. Yeah.
Doesn't even have a ball to juggle anymore. Oh, I think there's... Oh, no. No, there's not an outtake here. I was just remembering the metal parasite of some kind.
Of some kind of metal parasite.
Some kind.
Nitrium. That's not a real thing, is it?
Probably not.
Nitrium. Wait, what?
Well, I have Google. Let me check. Nitrium.
No, it is not a real thing.
Hang on. Nitrium, a variant of natrium, the original name for the chemical element sodium.
And this is another name for potash compound.
Also, the name of a Hot Wheels model, so maybe they have a bunch of tiny little toy cars.
Polycrystalline potash.
Potash.
Oh yeah, somebody else mentioned that Tony J was the lamp trader and the arch druid in King's Quest VI as well.
Old lamps for new.
Wait,
We can we just start a Tony J podcast? Like we need to devote some time to this.
what exactly is a metal parasite?
Don't worry about it.
Parasite is like
Megabyte and reboot.
It feeds on metal
Organism
and
that-
is maybe made of metal itself. Oh no, this lower facing shot means everything's gonna go wrong.
parasite.
What's gonna happen in this elevator?
This just reminds me of the shot where the ceiling starts caving in on him in the episode Night Terrors.
Oh yeah. Door just opens and Picard's just there screaming at the bridge crew. There it is. Something's going wrong.
Looking a little dirty
Excellent.
back there. Oh, there it is.
It's like It's like Ghostbusters. It's like the library sequence.
Why is my sister calling me? What do you want, sister? I'm
She said
busy.
you
Somebody
want some
blows your
glitter.
nose and you want to keep it.
What's your sister's name? Is she hot?
You can't just say that.
You know what? I was sorry the moment I said it. I'm sorry.
This elevator scene is giving me flashbacks to when a radiator burst upstairs and like gross radiator water started pouring out of my electrical sockets.
Also,
Ooh.
my
Oh.
sister has children, and they would be one source of glitter.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he's damp.
That means
Yeah,
that
I
you're
love
an
these
uncle.
I am
low
an
angle, like sweaty shots of Geordi.
He is
There's
moist.
someone just off screen with a spray bottle, spritzing him down like a like a disobedient cat.
Exactly.
Annoying me that they didn't capitalize field in Polaris Field.
This is a really exciting episode for me because I wasn't. I can't remember. Was this the one at the box that yells at you?
No, that's a different
Okay.
episode with a bot.
Huh?
That's a different
Yeah.
insane episode.
Okay.
I don't know if we've
Yeah.
actually had that one yet. I think
Basically,
I think we did.
Riker just.
I have no clue what this episode is about.
Tracy.
I don't know if I want to know,
Crazy.
and
Tracy.
I was just waiting for the next one to start. Now, I
All you need to know about this episode is the higher the fewer. That's it.
okay.
Oh my God! Look how sweaty Riker is.
They never explained what that meant, did they?
It doesn't
No.
mean
It
anything.
means the higher the fewer.
Yeah, you just say the higher the fewer in anything.
Maybe
worry
they're
about it.
talking
I mean-
about mountain climbers.
Maybe
They
they're
must have
talking
done the
about
Vaseline makeup.
maybe they're talking about oxygen particles. The higher up in the atmosphere you go, the less oxygen there is. I mean,
The higher the
Maybe.
writers of this episode were, the fewer stars they get on ratings.
Could be an org chart.
So did like the AC break?
There's probably
Yeah,
something screwed
yeah.
up with the life control systems because of some kind of metallic parasite.
They must have started sweating really
Wow,
quickly.
that
Did the AC
asteroid
break on the
field
sound
is
stage?
very
Well, you could also
specific.
say it was a time cut. There was a time cut, and
Looks
that's
like
why
popcorn
everybody
chicken.
suddenly to us sweating.
Dave's
this
the only
isn't
one who's
either
okay.
Of the episodes I thought it was.
Plus-
either.
Their uniforms are wool, if I remember correctly.
Ooh,
It's gotta be hot on set under those lights, anyways.
Brent's
Yeah, like
line
the
is,
scenario.
makeup starts to run like Giuliani.
I was gonna say they. I was gonna say they do make Vaseline makeups. You know,
So this asteroid field, why is it so incredibly dense? Just period. But also, why is it just stop? Why does it have a top and a bottom on the asteroid field?
The metal
Why is it
parasites are
just
like
like-
beavers. They've assembled it the way they like it.
Now, as someone
yeah,
who,
it's just flat.
yeah, I feel compelled to point out this is not how asteroid fields work in real life.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of density or in terms of them being disc shaped?
I mean, they are
in its
vaguely
distribution?
disc shaped, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not that thin.
Do you think
Are
there's a
Starfleet
targ somewhere on the
uniforms-
Enterprise?
well, conceivably they could be that thin if the asteroids were dense enough.
I mean, do you consider Saturn's ring to be an asteroid field? Because Saturn's rings are just little bits of dust and ice, so they're kind of miniature asteroid fields, and they're very ring-shaped.
Yeah, I think things tend to coalesce into a very planar orientation or orbiting a star.
Most things in the solar system go on just the same plane.
Yeah. Then there's the Oort cloud, though, which is just like a giant sphere.
Yeah. The Oort cloud, which has like 36 objects the size of Pluto in it, so we can't call Pluto a planet, or we'd have to call everything a planet.
We now have 46 planets.
Yeah, if we can get, I don't know why everyone's so opposed to this idea. More planets is better.
High score, man. High score.
Oh, yeah.
Also, NASA on their official YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago started putting a few like educational videos on it, like 2 or 3 minutes long.
Okay.
I'll get to that later.
Look at Beverly's expression there.
Look at Bill Murray.
Wait, what?
What is that? It looks like Bill Murray.
No.
No, that's Alexander Rozhenko.
It's not Bill Murray.
It just looks like Bill Murray.
Except for the hair. He doesn't mind.
Oh wait, I know which episode this is. This was like the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is terrible.
This is cost of
It's
living.
it's not like Sub Rosa.
Look at that man's cheeks. His cheeks are
Detroit.
just...
It doesn't look like
Deanna had great hair. Did you see Deanna's hair? It was really good.
Yeah, don't look
poofy
minister.
today.
This episode sucks.
The higher the fewer, man.
Earlier.
This is a great episode. I'm thoroughly enjoying it now.
You're just supposed
I don't know which one is more fun to trash, though. This or Sub Rosa. I feel like
That's a good
I'm
episode.
literally doing my taxes right now.
Well, Sub Rosa. This episode does not feature undead, which is something I don't enjoy.
Sub Rosa was also the invention of the dating tip. So also dating tip. I just remembered earlier we were talking about Betazoid considering men as property. Dating tip numbered 32.
No, we're higher.
Your partner is not property.
higher.
They're your partner.
I thought for a second you said Sub Rosa was like the introduction of the data dipstick, where like I needed to like put a dipstick up his nose to check his oil levels.
I want to say you're up to like 36 and 37 by
Oh,
now.
Mark, looks like you're enjoying yourself. Are you enjoying yourself?
That
Yeah.
That's
Very
a great
enjoying
line.
myself with this
Early.
episode.
that makes up for some of the episode. That moment.
The higher the
Watching
viewer?
it in this context is the
Well,
only way I would
Mark
watch
was.
this episode.
The higher the
Or Frankie
viewer, that's
seemed
all
to.
you need to know.
Yep.
Episodes.
I remember, I think actually the first time I watched this episode, I like had to re-examine the way I looked at television writing, because I felt like this had to be good in some way to justify its existence. Like it might not have been a great episode, but
I watch a
there's
lot
no
of
way
TV for my
they
job,
could've made
and this
something
is like
that was as bad as
amazing.
I thought this was.
Yep.
Oh, Ryan, we're
churning
missing
out a
the timestamp.
subpar product. Welcome to episodic
Well, the episode hasn't started
television.
yet. And we're not doing a countdown yet.
Listen, we gotta make 26 of these a season, okay? They're not all
Yeah.
gonna be gems.
A lot of issues here, you know. It's going to be, I was going to say, Ryan, it's going to be interesting, the chase between triangle ships and dating tips. They're both in the 30s now, so.
Okay.
Triangle tips and dating tips.
I feel
Oh,
like
that's
this
right.
isn't expensive.
Actually know how many dating tips we have.
I want to
I
say
think
it's
TNG
higher
is good.
than you thought. I want to say it's up at 35, 36 maybe, but
I'm definitely
I'm
not going to
sure.
go back and rewatch all the streams to find out.
I'll do it.
You don't have to rewatch all the... This isn't important. Also, 1 minute countdown to the next episode starting now.
I got some vacation
Whoever-
days I got to use. It's fine.
Whoever put like screen cap of Beverly's face in the chat, and Bill Murray.
And
Bill
I'll
Murray.
put that in the YouTube.
like know
There
the
it is.
couple well enough
Ensign
where he
Bill
gets
Murray.
invited.
That sure.
Are you okay?
I mean, yeah, it could just be somebody who coincidentally looks a lot like Bill Murray, but
That's
it sure
definitely not
looks
Bill
like
Murray.
Bill Murray to me.
There's no way that's Bill Murray.
It's his ancestor in the future.
Sorry, I got a lot of
He-
noise over
this is
here.
a descendant?
He looks more like Brian Doyle Murray.
It's like when Dwayne Johnson cameoed and there's just like a race of aliens that look like Dwayne Johnson out in the Delta Quadrant somewhere.
He loves
Like-
bringing his
like there's
coworkers
a Bill
back to his
Murray
quarters.
Hang on, everybody get ready to press play in 5, 4,
5,
3,
4, 3,
2,
2, 1.
1, play. Oh yeah, we lost Deutschland. Deutschland, what are you doing in the YouTube chat? Why aren't you in the voice chat anymore, Deutschland? Ditched us.
Oh, it's full.
I think Deutschland is in the text chat for the same reason I'm in the voice chat.
Or
What reason would that be?
I
Well,
don't
Ryan,
know.
do you have a queue up for that?
I was just minding my own business in the queue, and then all of a sudden I was watching like sweaty Captain Picard like beam a bunch of metal alien parasites onto some rock with like a magnet.
Okay, this episode I think is worse than the one we just watched.
Oh no!
Because this one I
No.
actually makes me
No,
uncomfortable.
No.
I don't remember everything about it, but I feel like this episode
sweating.
it might be worse in that it's more boring. Not a lot happens.
It's duller, but it's less offensively bad, if that's a compliment.
But offensively bad is amazing. That's the best kind of episode.
Oh, is that guy a Trill?
Yeah, Sub Rosa is offensively bad.
That's not a
yeah.
trill of wait, has Deep Space Nine started
Yeah,
yet?
it's like spots, actually. Yeah.
I think it has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Deep
Rom in
Space
this
Nine
one.
had started at this point, but these are not Trill.
They're not
The
trill,
wrong
they just have
actor,
the
I
same
mean.
makeup as Trill, apparently.
Yeah, kind of.
No, we're
Deep
still
Space Nine started in
still
season 5?
We're still in 1991 to 92. DS9 didn't start until 93.
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
season 6 of Next Generation that
Season
DS9
6.
started.
Well, they were in
You know what?
production, though, weren't
I'm just
they?
gonna look it up, the overlap, when the first episode was.
We got Max Grudenchik here.
Yep. There's Rom as just a different Ferengi.
You know you're in for
Oh,
a
that's
good
Rom
episode
there?
when you see the Ferengi shuttle.
I do love the Ferengi shuttle.
You know what it always reminded
Like a
me of?
bottle opener.
Remember the Squeeze It juice drinks?
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The like cap from the Squeeze It juice
Like the
drinks.
wax? Or like...
The bottle had just as much nutritional value as the drink itself.
Not the wax
I was
bottle.
amazed to see
These
that
things.
the Ferengi were supposed to be the big, scary
Oh.
bad guys of Next Generation. It's just so goddamn.
They're supposed to be the big villain, but they became comic
Yeah.
relief.
Okay, so Deep Space Nine starts right after Chain of Command.
Oh, I remember those drinks.
Oh.
Oh.
As soon as I saw the picture, the shape, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the shuttle.
Okay, so they're probably here to steal the Egg Lady.
Was
They're
that
definitely here to steal the Egg Lady.
Nice.
It's like Angry Birds.
It's like you called her a chicken or something.
Well, I
was that
mean,
Armin,
when we
Armin
meet her later,
Sherman
she'll
there?
be in an egg.
Which came first, the egg or the random?
Or the lady?
alien?
Oh, I thought that was a John Waters reference.
Oh, and so they got back together in X-Men.
Who? What?
Picard
Patrick
and
Stewart
the Perfect
and
Mate.
Famke Janssen.
Oh.
Patrick Stewart was in the X-Men.
Yep, and Famke
What was this
Janssen
at?
played Jean Grey.
Oh, really? She
Yeah,
played Jean Grey?
in the the early 2000s X-Men movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
or late 90s that started. I can't remember, but yeah.
I think X-Men 2 was
It's
2002.
2000.
Okay,
The
yeah,
first one I think was 2000.
yeah. She was the
Yeah,
original
I think it was
Jean Grey.
2000s, yeah.
What fraction of this episode is just going to be people fawning over her? I feel like it's going to be a
Like,
solid
for-
70-80%.
For me, it's
Well,
in the
that's
high
just the-
70s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of the population of our chat, the voice chat.
Well, I
Does
was
anyone else
thinking of
think it's
within the
actually-
episode more than what people here are going to say about it.
Yeah, I think
like, I
within the
can give
episode,
many
literally
asides.
every scene will revolve around this woman unless there's a B plot.
Now,
I
don't,
would think that
I mean,
more people would
she's-
find the fact that she has no personality until she like latches onto someone an unattractive thing.
But she's so stunningly attractive that it's very, very.
But she's just like a blank slate of a person.
She instantly becomes your ideal woman. It's like, what?
My ideal woman has a personality already. Before
But she'll have that personality. You won't even realize it.
Does anyone know the original series episode, The Man Trap? Like, where the creature like shapeshifts to be super attractive to individual people.
Was that
like,
the salt
it's kinda like that.
vampires?
The very handsome woman?
That's the, that's the salt thing.
Isn't there a
handsome woman.
species in Mass Effect that just always appears attractive to every species?
No, there's
That's
the
my
one
sister
where
talking.
if you have there's a group where if you try and do it with them, they like suck your life essence out.
You mean a succubus?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, you have to die somehow.
God, so does anyone here remember how long ago that compilation of Some Kind of was for TNG? It was months ago at least, but was it last year? I think it was last year. Why am I still remembering, like at the very start of the episode, the Some Kind of lines? Because I know that guy, the guy with the hat with the trill marks, he's going to be saying some kind of bribe later on. Why do I remember this?
I don't understand why the Star Trek crew apparently locks their crew quarters, but doesn't lock their extremely sensitive cargo bay.
It's off limits. They told everybody it's off limits. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's
Anastasia.
very honest in the future.
On a starship, there is no need for such
Someone had to
security.
get in there and use the transporter.
Rom, what
That's
are you
the
doing?
actor who played Rom, right?
Yeah, that's Rom.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think every single episode, every single scene is going to either revolve around the egg lady in some point, with the exception of maybe a scene or two where they talk about like planning the new negotiations and getting the rooms all clean, starting at this point until the end of the episode.
Oh, somebody please smack
Hey,
that for
Barrel?
That's not the yellow brick, though.
No, that's the kind of barrel that hits Worf.
right, he's prepared for Worf to try and stop him. He's got the barrel ready.
And see,
Meanwhile,
there's the
right
egg.
behind this guy is an
Well, could be any
anti-grav
blue
lifter
barrel.
that he could
Blue
be using
barrel.
to
What's
lift
this guy
that barrel.
planning to do, assuming he was successful in his plan?
He's gonna eat it.
Maybe he wants the egg lady to like immediately imprint on him with, oh god, everything about this, now that I actually say it out loud, sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
You don't even have to
thing I
say it out
remember from
loud
this-
for it to be creepy.
The only thing I remember
Interesting.
from this episode is like I am for you, Ulrika Vault. That's
Jesus.
like the one line that I remember.
Oh, that's right. I remember that one.
She like keeps saying it.
Hi,
Make
you
things
said
worse.
not
This
like the
guy's got
pressure
such
there.
good textiles that I can't even hate him.
Oh, is that
Interesting
Tracy
little,
behind Worf? I think that's Tracy.
I like his tattoo.
Oh,
Head
he's
tattoo.
turning off the egg.
He's turning off the egg. It just like the lights
Okay.
turn off, and it's just like
So
a piece of
because he's standing on some
fiberglass
barrels,
and
he's
it
gonna
falls on the
fall.
floor.
Yep, there it is.
Do you think it's weird that he had to stand on barrels to be able to scan that thing that he was
This-
doing?
The Ferengi is
Yeah.
now tougher than Worf. He survived a toppling blue barrel.
Yes.
It's going to be so much more improved with the egg lady imprinted on Worf.
Is that a high trick, or is Worf actually that tall? Is Michael Dorn actually that tall compared to that Ferengi actor?
He has
could
like
be.
tall boots that boost him up, I think.
He can also be crouching. The Ferengi was crouching earlier too.
When I went to see What We Left Behind in theaters, the documentary, the lady who sat next to me told me her friend met the actor who played Rom at a convention, and they ended up getting married. I thought it was a weird little like.
Wait, what?
All right, the
There
egg
was a
lady's
woman
hatched.
sitting.
The lady was married to Max. What's his Max
Grodenchik.
Grodenchik?
Max Grodenchik imprinted on a fan.
That's oh my god!
Oh, here now we go. Isn't her name like Kamala?
That
She's the
sounds
vice
right.
president.
Ulrika Volt.
In this, yeah, Kamala.
For you, Ulrika Volt.
Kam-
There it is.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. This
how
is who
much
they,
do
She
you
they got
doesn't
the
look
name.
exactly like Kamala Harris. There are some slight differences.
It's subtle.
Maybe
Now,
similar
Kamala
hairstyle.
Harris is not, in fact, a trill, I don't think.
Oh my gosh,
But
she's
is
so
she a
pretty.
She's not a trill either.
Well,
does-
Harris is the trill. Kamala is not a trill.
Yeah, why were you transporting just people?
Why did you hatch me early? I'm a premature hatchling.
It's Space Eric and Space Brian.
What would happen if the first person she met was a hologram?
Like, what if she imprinted on one of those barrels?
What if the first person she met was an exomorph?
If you just draw a smiley face on one of the barrels. This is Ulrich of
Smiley
Gold.
face on a- What, like Wilson the volleyball?
She like brings it around. She's like a little forklift.
No, now she's just walking around trying to fall on Worf.
They bond over their hatred of Klingons, yes. Oh yeah, Kamala. You just said it. Gareth.
Oh, Helen of Troy.
This, we just skip this?
She's an empathic metamorph, the first female metamorph born on her world for 100 years.
If it happens a lot, then it's not really. I guess it's not regular. Never mind.
Well, it's regular, but only every 100 years.
Is it something that happens every once in a while, or is it something that happens on the dot every 100 years?
You can see the gears turning in Riker's head right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We just have all these boring, like, medium shots of individuals here. Like, this is just so boring.
This episode, like if there's like a male equivalent of the big doll test, like this episode obviously failed.
So apparently
The
male
Bechdel.
metamorphs, Bill, I thought you were making that up. I didn't remember that at all. But yeah, male metamorphs are apparently very common
Yeah.
in their world.
So I think that
Okay.
makes up, if anybody considers this episode sexist, I'd like to think that more than makes up for it, even though that's off screen or whatever.
But are they traded as property and used as political
The
bargaining
solace
chips?
of knowing that there's 100
No, that I don't
to
know.
1 men who also have the same thing happen to them.
Well, then we know the solution to the Troy problem. Just get Lexana Troy one of these dudes.
Yeah.
I like the flow of that dress a lot.
Wow, I just noticed
It
those
is a
tiny,
nice
tiny
dress.
little railings. Like how close those
Oh,
are.
I like
like
the
it.
flow of the dress.
Okay.
I like that it's like slightly
a nice
see-through too. The skirt is
Yeah,
slightly
on
see-through.
her arms and legs, it's see-through.
Before we get further into this episode, I would like to make a note. This episode is all about an attractive woman. Don't make it weird.
Sorry.
I'm sure
Because
there's
Star
no
Trek
way
fans
this
are
episode is weird in any
Star
way.
Trek fans are experts at taking ordinary romantic situations and making them weird.
What? That sounds crazy. No.
Okay, so Trill don't have the thing on the back, I think. She's got back spots,
She's got back spots.
Right.
which a Trill does not have, if I remember.
Well, they do, but it's
No,
along the
the
shoulder.
Trill
Oh,
just
they
have
do.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, it's
Yeah,
different. It's
down
not in the
the shoulder.
middle, right down the
Does the
spine.
egg
Oh,
lady
that-
know how to
That
read?
panel said food service on it. It was very explicit. Riker, what are you doing? No, Riker, get out of there.
Riker, no.
Riker,
Ew!
you just met this
He can't
woman.
help
She hatched
himself.
from an egg like 5 minutes ago.
Dad.
Leave her alone.
Ew, imagine
so
what her breath
hairy.
smells like in that egg.
She probably hasn't brushed. She's all covered in like yolk.
Yolk.
She's covered in yolk.
How is she able to communicate with these people?
Wait, Ryan, can we get
kiss?
we get an egg emoji?
If this was an episode of Voyager, Neelix would go down to the cargo bay and get the leftover of that egg.
Oh dear, the afterbirth. He's
That would
cooking
cause
Oh, no.
the egg would cause some serious damage to the ship's systems when he cooked it, and then they'd have to get the egg to sickbay.
Yeah.
That would be a fun episode. I'd watch that.
Somebody in chat says Kamal is Arabic for miraculous, and Kamala is the female form of that name.
Oh, we're in the chat.
I don't know if that's correct or not myself, but I'm willing to trust it.
Whoa.
What a great
Where's it
thing
in
to
the
say,
chat?
Riker.
He's like, yeah, it is. Let me go. He's like, I need to go now.
So
If
how
I
long
was-
is
Plus,
this
we
voyage
know Riker
going to
likes
be?
eggs.
Sent Riker. I would have had to have Riker like get in one of the shuttles and like follow the Enterprise from a safe distance for the entire episode.
Right.
If
He's
you
going
need
to the holodeck
know that
from
for.
Riker
Mountain
uses
Heights.
the holodeck for what you think he does. Yeah. That's a great moment.
If Riker gets within half a light year of the Enterprise in this episode, he has like Worf's ordered to blow him up.
So they're right now just having croissants, and they're just hanging out. I remember in a later episode, maybe season 6 or 7, they talk about the breakfast they have, and like, no, we just want something simple, like a croissant. It's like, why don't we just
Yeah, where they're attached.
That's the one when they have the implants.
Yeah, so I guess this is sort of like the start of them having breakfast together, and it gets more elaborate over time.
Yeah. I think they even say like recently we've been having more crazy stuff.
They get together on Fridays and enjoy their giant croissants in Trania.
Sound like you want to say something, Otter? What's up?
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking, like, Beverly's here, like, calling sexism on this. Like, oh, she's been conditioned to love, like, or to exist only for men. But then I think, like, they literally said that there's plenty of male metamorphs that exist
Which, of course,
only
makes it
to
fine.
please
Two
women,
wrongs don't make a
so-
right. You can't.
No, but
Beverly
there's-
always is
the
the voice
ratio
of
is not
reason.
2
I'm
to
with
1. The
Beverly.
ratio is 9 to 1.
I'm just still confused by what they
that's
were
Mirror.
eating. Like that meal consisted of croissants, fruit salad, and 2 unidentified liquids.
Well, they put some kind of paste or spread on the croissants. Maybe it was Nutella.
That's
Some
reasonable.
Butter.
kind of paste.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Butter cream.
Looked pretty good to me. I like
Almond
that.
butter.
It was a dark color.
Knowing
like a dark
Picard, it's
greenish
probably a
brown.
marmalade.
It was like it's like when they're ordering it from the replicator. It's like when you're trying to find something to watch on Netflix, where the two of them like just stare at the menu for 2 hours, and eventually they're like, "Give me." And you know how everyone usually orders their food in maybe like a sentence or two, but they're like, croissants, cantaloupe, and grape juice.
We really should just leave her in the quarters for the duration of the trip, because I know it's going to
Just
be very
seal her in
uncomfortable
the
for her
room.
in the meantime. But if she imprints on Captain Picard, like might happen in the episode, I wonder what's going to happen. Then the rest of her life is going to be deeply uncomfortable.
I think that this episode is one that could have used Guinan. Like, she should have hung out with Guinan and realized, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. You know?
I find
You need to think long term, Kamala.
Yeah. Guinan is literally the smartest person on the ship. So
Guinan
yeah,
would
that
step
make
in and be like,
sense.
no, this is not okay. You know,
Well,
don't do
why
this.
didn't they just send a woman to hang out with her?
Yes.
Very good
Yes.
Does that make a difference?
Unless she's like bi attracted to
Stop
both
it.
women
Yeah.
and
Stop being
men.
manipulated by men, says a man.
Data, who A, has no attraction, and B, no brain. So
Yeah, like Data, someone who's kind of, for all intents and purposes, asexual in these situations would be.
If they had Data do it, then there wouldn't be any conflict.
Bro,
There would be any
Then you,
story.
then you would be asking this
Yeah.
actress to resist Brent Spiner.
Data and
Oh.
Guinan and I don't
Impossible.
know, maybe Troy, like just sit down with her and
Yeah,
talk it
what
over.
Troy?
Where's
Where is
Troy in all
Troy?
Another good question.
Well,
she just
I
had an
mean,
episode. The last
Kamala's whole
episode.
thing
They
is
can't
that
put her in this
she-
one too.
She becomes the perfect mate to whoever she meets. I assume that would still work for a woman.
Why can't
like
she
the-
be a perfect mate like a buddy?
This episode isn't terribly made; it's just terribly written.
Just doesn't make sense.
Put her in a holodeck.
They seem to kind of be making a decent effort to like explore this concept, but the problem is that the concept is stupid.
Well, that's the thing; it's flawed from the start, and
also
whatever
you
they
want this
whatever
woman to
they
be
build
like-
on that is wrong.
And you want this woman to at some point be like, "You're right, this is weird," and she never really
Okay,
does.
so
Like, look at this. Like, this set is amazing.
Playing his xylophone.
This set is amazing. Like, all these props are super
Yeah.
cool, but it's like I'm so like turned off by the episode. I just don't care.
I agree.
How come?
Like that,
How come
that
this
chandelier
ambassador
in
is
the
wearing a Jake Sisko shirt but as a dress?
He's like, not
That's a
every
bizarre
man.
concept.
I will
Every man.
chaperone. Oh wait, yeah.
Oh, hey, they do get data to like
Ah.
take care.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. It's just Cisco shirt. Sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't work out because, as we'll see later, like Picard ends up taking over the ambassador's duties pretty much.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Right, she
alert,
just kind of like
but
bails
whatever.
on Data, if I remember correctly, because she like is bored by him.
I
Yeah,
was thinking that was the custom that
I'm an
the
android.
Bajorans were too.
So how come we can't put her back into stasis? I'm pretty sure they do that several times in sickbay.
It wiggled.
Be
Once
a
it
different
wiggles,
kind
it
of
doesn't
stasis,
work
but it should be
anymore.
fine.
Oh yeah, take her to where the most people are. That's really
Well,
smart.
if
This
she's
is a
in
terrible
stasis,
idea.
oh yeah.
Well, she's
Every
a
guy in the
We're a
room.
bunch of-
go around wherever she wants. Like
Every
it's
guy
not
in the room,
true,
and probably
but
some
also
girls.
there's these minors here.
I mean, Kamala has the right to go wherever she wants on the ship,
Oh
but
my
she should.
God.
She knows what's going to happen.
Look at
Really
this guy.
funny is that there's this construction.
Oh my God,
thing
this
where, like,
guy.
minors.
This is
Oh, these
creepy.
guys are from the wrong series. They belong in the original series.
Yeah.
What do we
Like
mean? Are
this.
they diplomats or
This looks like crap in
what?
HD.
Worf's
Make
ready
us-
to.
was Enterprise just
Worf's
like
ready to
calling
smack him.
some people around from the misogynist planet? I'm really
Yeah, why are they
God.
here?
yeah. Who are
Why-
these people?
I hate this. I hate this.
These people are only here because they didn't want to have Starfleet officers doing this.
Yeah,
Understand.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
that's totally
It's very
correct.
unbecoming of an officer.
There was like some kind of emergency. They had to pick up a whole ship of freighters.
Yeah, it was a douchebag freighter.
There's actually a parallel plot going on where
Like,
that we never see,
like-
where there's like a second conference that's going on, and they're like,
You know what
"The
they're
only way
like?
to end this war is to get 17 complete
This is it.
dickheads."
It's about to turn into a
They're
Snow
like-
White and the Seven Dwarfs situation here.
They're space bikers. Like this is like a biker bar situation.
Oh God, this
Subverted a
part when
little
she
bit.
turns
Turns out
around.
Those are all actually females of the species, and they just want to have fun, but they're not.
Oh,
They
no.
have no bad intentions whatsoever.
Why did the subtitle say seductive
God.
growling?
Subtle
Oh, oh no!
I will say, as
And then-
somebody who writes out TV captions, that you want to just put in as much fun stuff as you can just to keep it going.
Okay, but why did Kamala say seductive growling? And why did Worf say subtle growling? Why doesn't Worf get
Subtle
seductive
growling.
growling?
Because she was doing it in a seductive manner, and he was doing it in a more subdued, subtle manner because he is a trained officer who's not going to just go full on
Yeah.
seductive growling.
He was responsive, not initiative.
Kamala seriously has
Yeah.
no self-restraint, though. She should know better than this.
I would have loved seeing her just in Data's quarters and like trying to, and like Data's just doing his Data things, where he's like, "Ah, yes, Captain Picard has said you can't leave because that would be a terrible idea. We will now listen to
Yeah.
7 symphonies at the same time. Would you like to feed my cat?"
She just breaks down. Yeah.
Picard, she's manipulating you. Don't fall for
This
it.
is crazy.
How does she know what a Vintamin thimble is?
She's like psychic or
She's
been,
something.
like,
born
He's reading his
yesterday.
mind.
Well, anybody.
She's
she-
telepathic.
She wasn't born yesterday, though. Like she was
was
in
hatched
stasis.
yesterday.
Oh,
But-
okay.
3 days
She
ago.
was in stasis, but they had like trained her basically
Yeah.
since she was a kid. I think to be like this.
Apparently, they didn't
worldly
train her that
woman.
well because she has no self-restraint. She's hitting
Well,
on
Oh,
every
yeah.
man
the
on the ship.
implication though, isn't the implication though is that she's kind of telepathic? Or am I just
She's
like
got to
reading
be
too
to
much?
Yeah,
kind
do
of,
her thing.
kind of telepathic, but
Some
only in the
kind of
sense
telepathic.
but only in the sense of knowing what the other person wants, not in the sense of knowing what their personal possessions are.
Yeah, like maybe not directly, maybe just like reading cues or something, but yeah.
So they're going over, her training now. Why? I don't know why she learned Shakespeare in her aliens school.
I'll have to have a talk.
Shakespeare is big in different
That's Earth centrism for you.
When you haven't really experienced Shakespeare until you read it in the original Klingon.
So I really thought this episode was going to be all the men on the ship fawning over Kamala, but really it's Kamala fawning all over all the men on the ship. It's the other
in other words,
it's
complete fan service.
I would have loved if we had a scene in this episode where, like at the end of the game, where like everyone's like needs to go to horny jail, and like Data bursts in with his strobe light.
He has his flashlight to solve everything.
I have a kind of unrelated question. The lionfish. Do you think that's something Picard chooses to have that, right? It's not just something that was already there that he didn't care about.
Yeah, Captain Jellicoe actually got rid of the lion.
Jellicoe got rid of it, but I don't know if Picard likes it or if it just was already there and he just didn't hate it, and so he left it.
His best friend fish.
The Captain Picard and his fish are named after the same person.
Really?
Maybe it isn't. Oh wait, no. They're named after two different oceanographers.
That's a good question, Captain. Why are you doing this?
Or maybe like the fish is named Cousteau and Captain Picard is named Jean-Luc.
Oh, that's so cute.
So it might be, and so it's. I think there was a Jean-Luc who went to like the Mariana Trench or something, but it's also really close.
Oh, here it is.
Jacques
Wait,
Cousteau, and I may have it confused.
This guy's line.
Some sort of bribe.
There it is. I don't like rewatch that compilation video. I don't know why I remember every single instance in it.
You got a good memory.
Memory's
Memory's weird like that.
But why do you care about gold, Max?
It's worthless. Yeah.
They're scamming them.
Somebody says, don't forget some Xenia pics. Did she play Xenia Onatop in the James Bond movie?
Yes.
Wow.
You bet your balls she did.
Yep.
Where she murders men by squeezing them to death with her thighs.
Would a metamorph even work on a Ferengi since their brains can't be read by telepaths?
Look at those
Except
beautiful
for the
birds
times
on
when
his
they can.
shoulder.
Except for the times when it's convenient for the plot.
Oh boy.
Oh no, the breakaway table.
Oh, come on. He's fine. He didn't even hit his head on the table. He hit his hands on it.
Yeah, you got a doctor.
Oh
His
no!
brains are in his hands. That's how
He fell into his glass candy collection.
How could he possibly be bleeding from his head? I was watching that very carefully. He didn't hit his head on anything.
Not every species has their brains in the same place, Jim.
He might be using this as an opportunity to take a dive and not
The
have
Star
to do
Trek
the job.
6 reference.
Wait. Craniosacral?
Craniosacral display. I don't know what that means. It probably doesn't mean anything
Like-
other than cranial. I guess craniosacral is like some fancy alien component of his brain.
Well, craniosacral is like a type, actually like a type of therapy where it's like it's a bit like a technique of like kind of massage-ish therapy, like physical therapy, but like she was like the craniosacral like scanner or something or imager. I'm like, how does it what?
It asks him
So
how he feels.
So you're telling me they're gonna vibrate his brain?
That
was a nice smile.
I would get such an insane headache if someone vibrated my brain.
Quote of the day.
So, Picard, you're getting a little too into this. I feel like you should be aware of the consequences. You have to know what's going to happen here.
He just loves those damn alien cultures so much. He's like, oh, this alien gamelan is so interesting.
If that That
He's
xylophone
playing the
actually
alien
made
xylophone.
noise that wasn't added in post. Knowing Patrick Stewart, he definitely like in between takes just went
Yeah.
ham on that thing.
Really,
not
Patrick
very
Stewart
good.
doesn't like performing in front of an audience, you say?
Does Patrick Stewart really even like acting?
No, he just wants to like
Nah.
read and like sleep and eat pasta.
He likes acting, just not on Star Trek.
So that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
she's correct.
Yeah, he hates screen acting.
Yeah.
But
And he seems to
like
be having a good time of it.
wine doesn't buy
That's where the
itself.
money is.
Why no audition?
You got that alien sphinx back there.
Can you imagine how freaking dejected you'd be if Captain Picard was like, "Yeah, like you've been raised your entire life to like be attractive," and he's like, "Girl, you ugly."
Maybe we could like do this over space Zoom. If Picard really needs the information from her on how to do the ceremony.
Oh my god.
They can't just FaceTime each other or whatever?
She keeps sending him links to her OnlyFans.
Wait, the FaceTime, FaceTime?
Yes,
no,
okay,
that's not a
space
thing.
time.
Subspace time.
Only captains.
Oh
Did you
no.
catch that apparently there were
Only
people who found the braying of moon beasts to be soothing?
Hashtag only captains.
Oh, she said the S word.
That was
You
really
can't say
important.
that.
Kama Sutra.
That doesn't exist in the 90s.
No, she didn't say it.
People
I
in
thought
the
only
90s just
Discovery
came out of
mentioned it.
eggs.
No, she didn't say it. She said something else. I don't know what, but she didn't. She did not say that.
Oh,
word.
she was talking about the saxophone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't
Cuts
saying
to
on there.
Dr.
Doesn't-
Zimmerman asking that one
doesn't-
woman, like, "Oh, are you aware of the ancient text of the Kama Sutra?"
Oh my god.
Are you
Please
familiar with my work on
demonstrate
Star Trek
this.
Voyager?
Yeah.
God, we really need the blooper reel for DS9. They need to make one.
Yeah.
You could read this as Picard being like emotionally invested in the scene, but you could also try and read it like he's just really bored.
He wants to go back to the xylophone. He's like, "Can we keep practicing?"
Picard's heart belongs to the
He has to stand there
xylophone.
yelling at people about ethics and the first duty. He has to do that every single day. Let the man play the xylophone for a few minutes.
Yeah.
He's gonna lug that xylophone into that Jeffries tube where they practice it. That whatever.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
God,
the
this
woman
guy's
like
so ugly.
uses her little like
Don't
roll out
judge.
piano.
Oh,
and
he's like the guy
Picard,
from
like,
Dune.
pulls an entire xylophone panel.
He looks
a
like Sting
female
from
Clint
Dune.
Howard.
I mean, what if he shaved his head? What if he was bald? It's just the hair, really. If he shaved his head, he'd look fine.
Does anyone know who Phil Collins is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mean the weatherman?
Of course.
Sure.
The weatherman from Groundhog Day? I'm pretty sure that's Phil
Yeah.
Collins.
No, that's
Phil
no,
Collins.
that's Phil.
Phil Hartman.
No,
Phil Connors?
Connors. Phil
Phil
Connors.
Connors, not Phil
Okay.
Collins. Yeah, Phil Collins was the former lead singer of Genesis. He had a really weird and unfortunate hairline, despite becoming one of the biggest pop stars of all time.
Too many people making
You
too many
know-
problems and not enough love to go around.
I just realized that
Hey,
the other group that Captain Picard is working with is the Creosians, who you might recall are the people that the Romulans try to get independence for them from the Klingons, and they can't say anything.
thanks
today.
for listening to my
They
Phil
frame-
Collins podcast.
Yes. They framed the Federation by giving the Creosians Federation-type phasers.
Wow.
If Phil Collins was in this chat, and like when you asked if we knew who
Wait,
Phil
Triangle.
Collins he'd be
Wait, is
be
that-
like, "Excuse me, Do you remember me?
He'd be like,
Oh my god.
What was that? The right form of triangle? That looked like the triangle.
I think it was.
I think that was the correct triangle. I want to go back and look though.
Hard
I
to
think
say.
that was
I thought
correct.
it kind of looked like a rectangle.
No, it's definitely triangular. There's another triangle later on in the episode as well, looking through the previews, but that's not the triangle.
So think of oh wow, now it's uncomfortable.
No, leave. Leave. Absolutely leave.
I've
If
never
you love
seen
the sound
Phil
of his voice,
Collins
he
with
has lectures that are uploaded.
Walk
you can listen
out of
to.
the door.
Rock me out.
Just like it's open. Just step.
Yeah.
No.
Get out.
If you were
The Data should have really stuck with this mission, like
Oh.
maybe not to be the ambassador, but at the very least just to like tase people.
Watch
this
Like the
stuff
lights
starts to
stay
happen.
on.
the lights stay on. Oh, you're that
The
way.
lights stay on so I can see you better.
Don't make it weird.
It's already weird.
It's already weird.
I know.
Needs the
That
lights
ship
on.
is. That ship is.
Can you imagine
sailed.
if this was like
wasn't
a
gonna
ship
make
full
it
of high schoolers and whatever instead of
Well,
adults?
Stop saying.
Instead of
things.
space bikers?
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, like, if everybody was high school age, this would be like some sort of rom-com or whatever.
Well, we do have ramen here, so that seems fair.
Whatever.
Romedy.
And just because people asked, I added some pictures of Xenia on the top, including a still photo from GoldenEye 64.
Which, yeah,
I
thanks
added a
for that.
picture of Phil Collins.
Thanks for the picture of Phil Collins.
looking
Yeah,
good.
that at a certain point in the 80s, Genesis and Phil Collins were selling out 100,000 person stadiums for concerts. Somehow he became one of the biggest pop stars of his era. And it looks like
that are right good
he
songs,
looks like
you mean?
he looks like an ill-formed baked potato.
I love that look. What about the music?
Yeah, it's not about the
Well-
look. Hey, it didn't used to be about the looks. It was about the talent. Now, all like a lot of famous pop stars and singers are just like really
The
attractive
weirdest
and not
thing
that
is-
talented.
Yeah,
The
now
weirdest thing is,
Picard
like,
could
Phil
become a pop
Collins is
star.
actually one of the greatest drummers in the history of music, but he'll be
Yeah.
remembered for like singing songs, to like help
Studio.
douchey guys in the 80s get laid.
And for the Tarzan
For the
soundtrack.
record, I absolutely love Phil Collins and Genesis.
And
Yeah,
for the Brother
same.
Bear soundtrack.
Well, me too. I've seen
All right,
Collins in concert
here
like
we
10 or
see
12
another
times.
meal between Picard and Beverly, this time consisting of tea.
Fucked up teapot.
Yeah,
Tea
they have
and
two
tea.
teapots.
I think the teapot
Neither
is
of them are
designed.
well
Could be
designed.
cream and sugar or whatever.
No, the
Cream and
teapot's
honey.
Penny. It's
I
just
think the
subtitles put that on the teapot, so the teapot's called Penny.
I think that
What?
the cups nest into the teapot when you put
The
it on.
subtitles landed on the
Why is
teapot.
the spout on these teacups on the same size as the handle?
Wait, why is there a spout on the teacups in the first place? Aren't those
It's
supposed to
not
be
a
things that you?
spout.
You can also use it for
What
maple
is
syrup
it?
for your
For
pancakes.
those
What is
aliens who
it?
don't have lips, you just pour it into your mouth.
Those
Oh.
are odd teacups.
I think so. The cups nest into the teacup, so they have to be shaped like that, so it doesn't, so it can get flush.
That is
basically.
possibly true.
By I feel like in the future, like in World War III, all records of how to use dishes were destroyed, and that's why we have people drinking tea out of like what am I trying to say? Like gravy.
Here's the exact teapot
dispensers.
and the cream and sugar thing. Actually,
How did you find it?
How do we have this
I'm-
information?
I'm
on
a
file?
magician.
Oh my god,
Wow.
what?
What trickery is
Man.
this?
This is still a terrible design, even if they are nesting
It's a
with
little
each
blurry,
other.
but let me put it on the YouTube screen. There's the teapot. It's a little short and it's a little stout. And this is the handle over here. And here's the spout. Yeah, that's a weird teapot.
Ryan, can you put a picture of Phil Collins up on the YouTube screen?
No, I would say don't.
So then everybody can see it. They can see him.
It'll make you slightly nauseous.
Don't worry, I'll bring that
you
up.
can get it. You can get it for $325.
There he is.
Found a
There's
link.
Phil Collins.
Oh no, that's Phil Connors. No. Although the hairline isn't that dissimilar.
Okay.
No, that's not Phil Collins. Or Phil Connors. That's that ensign from that last episode we watched.
Oh my god, it's Bill Murray.
I found high res photos.
Okay.
Ryerson.
I appreciate
Ned
how
Ryerson?
basically completely abandoned the plot of this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, do we
What
care
plot?
anymore? Yeah,
Neil knows Ned the Head. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I don't care at all what's happening.
This episode could have been
yeah.
half as long with no difference in the story.
The set
This
designers
episode
are really
could have
getting their
been,
money's worth. out of the
100% shorter, and it would have been just as good.
Other than blowing,
It's not a terrible episode. It's fine, but it's just
other than blowing the whole
Understand.
season's like costume budget, there's nothing notable about this episode.
also, yeah, we never pay attention to the episode. That's a good point. Thank you.
I mean,
should have ended this
we
one.
sometimes pay attention to the
Only when they're
episode,
really
but I,
terrible
like,
episodes.
Yeah,
This
I
is
feel
more like a
the-
very chaotic podcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, and last time I called it podcast, everyone got on my back and was yelling at how it's not a podcast.
But see, I reframed it, and everyone likes me.
It's a YouTube cast.
Well, we did see a pod earlier. Ah.
continuing to pay attention to Star Trek food. It looks like in the background, this room just has like a party veggie platter.
Yeah,
sitting
man.
on a
I could
table.
go for some veggies. That looks pretty
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
She's like, Picard's like, Picard's like, I can't let you go through the ceremony, and she's just like, looks at him with like a carrot stick covered in ranch dressing hanging out of her mouth, and she's like, what?
What a sad ending.
Having bonded
just
with
wanna-
you, I've learned the meaning of duty.
She should
Okay.
just quit this, let them go to war, join Starfleet. Honestly, if their war can be ended with one marriage, they could probably figure out how to end it without it.
The guy doesn't even care. The guy doesn't even care about it. It's the thing
He
is,
doesn't
they could
even
probably
want
negotiate
her.
this away, right?
I mean, that's kind of something that
Forget it.
happened historically,
Keep-
where people would just get married and that would end conflict.
Keep the lady and then just send in like Worf in like a dress. And they're like, I'm sorry, what the metamorph looks
Besides, she
like.
looks good in a dress.
Surprise, motherfucker!
He's starting to think, he's like, is there something about my subconscious that I don't understand?
Yeah, it's like this is what it was. I don't know what to say.
Oh my god, that
And
would
Worf
be
just
amazing.
stabs him.
Yeah.
Oh. I just want to point out Femke Jensen acting pretty well in this episode. That is just absolutely bonkers.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I feel
she's doing
bad
good.
for her.
Well, she
Yeah, I feel
She-
bad for
she does a good
all
job,
the
and she
cast here.
admittedly is pretty irresistible.
She's
She
kissing
is.
an outer
She's
space leprechaun.
She's incredibly seductive on screen, and I don't mean that in a sexist way. I mean that in terms of like when you
can't
play
just say, "I
seductive
don't mean
characters,
that."
it's a skill.
That's the training ship
Not-
with that kid who wanted to kill
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Picard in that one episode.
I think
So
she's
it's
ugly.
not-
I only like
I-
those
Random ship
fishmen.
earlier looked like it had fangs. On just
I
added
give
to the
you,
ship.
I give you a female's permission to say that she is seductive on screen. That's not sexist. It's just the truth.
Okay,
And that
thank
might
you.
be true. I'm
Thank
just saying
you.
that you can't say I'm not sexist, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably
I love
should have
this
framed that.
scene at the end where he's
differently.
like, "I was chosen for this mission because
I'm old.
I have my PP work no more.
I'm an elderly man.
I need
My
to
my
I need
my
to take
phone.
medication to get a boner now." So
I-
I'm a valued diplomat among my
So-
people.
Is-
Something
is-
happening in the bone zone.
Is Picard implying here that they hooked up? Is Picard
No.
implying here that they hooked up? Because he said,
Aw.
"How did you resist her?" And he doesn't answer.
He's just like grossed out by the guy's question.
Oh, you can
Captain
see the
Picard-
weird ceiling panels on the.
I think that's purposely left nebulous because I would think to some degree.
Captain
You were-
Picard, I
Picard
would like
would
to
not.
remind
He
you,
would not.
a lie of a mission is still a lie.
Having, I think, I don't.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we should
episodic
look
television, nobody
into
learns.
it because suggesting that there's this level of ambiguity in this episode suggests that it could be well written, which it clearly is not.
No, you're right. Right, I was giving it unfair dues.
I appreciate the Ferengi, who I believe showed up, tipped the egg over, almost killed the food, and then I don't think they were ever seen again.
No, they got arrested.
Like I said, it's not horribly made. It's just horribly written, and everyone's doing their due part to try and polish the crap as much as they can.
Do you think the Ferengi just left on that ship they said was going to arrive in 3 days, just like off screen?
No, they
Oh,
said
they
that they
sent
took him
you-
off on a shuttle to Starbase
Shuttle.
112. Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
actually, Worf put them in the airlock.
Why even bother wasting energy walking them to the airlock? Just transport them into space.
But according to the
Does
record,
Does
they
anyone
made it
else
to
want to
the
watch?
Starbase.
Sub Rosa?
Does anyone want to watch
Threshold?
literally anything else?
I almost want to watch
got
that
something-
episode again. It was so
I mean,
enjoyable.
what I want to do is determine the nature of this particular ship here.
I don't know, man.
Now,
I
it
was
has the
thinking
same
it's
It
type.
was
It's
like a
called a
triangle ship
triangle.
with fines attached to it.
Oh, that is.
It has bits glued onto it, but I need to look at like the front lighting pattern and
was
the
it?
lights along the side here and see
You know
if
what
that
it?
matches.
You know what it looks like? It looks like if the front of it is like a face, it looks like a shark kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah, it looks kind of. Yeah, I was gonna.
Or
I was trying
maybe
to figure out
I'm
what.
maybe I'm
That's it.
high. I'm not sure.
No, you're right. It's a
Do we have
fishy kind
any?
of a
Do we have
ship.
any other angles?
Okay, I have another angle here. Let me open this up. So you look at this Husnock warship. This is the same model
Okay.
as the triangle ship. You see this light pattern on the bottom where it's like a row of 2, then a row of 3 lights, and then there's sort of the backwards L shape here on the left.
So you're thinking it's a piece? It's a piece of the prop?
And if you look here, it's harder to see because it's low resolution, but the top lights are smaller and the bottom lights are longer, and it has sort of a reverse L shape here. So I think this is the same base model.
Huh.
Yes.
Can you
We know
post
what
those
happened to
both in
that
the
prop.
Discord?
Oh. Yeah.
Who got to keep the triangle ship at the end of production?
They would do it was thrown in the bin.
That's actually what they buried.
Yeah,
Gene in.
everything was destroyed.
Gene is buried in a triangle ship coffin.
That was launched into space.
Yeah, he's.
There
Okay,
must
let
be
me-
a specific name for that ship because if I Google image triangle ship, I don't get.
Yeah,
here,
that's
here it is
That's
blown
good
up.
work.
Yeah.
That's identical.
Yeah, that looks uncannily familiar.
Yeah.
Uncannily
We are now
similar.
Cannot
up
argue
to
with that.
38 triangles.
Yeah,
Oh
That's
my
amazing. You were
God.
able to identify it from that
Trying.
pure
This is
light
like-
pattern. That's
Does
good.
anyone watch CSI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enhance. Enhance.
Hang on.
Enhance.
I can enhance this. Let me
Boom,
blur the
enhance.
screen real quick because I have to go into my file system, but I can
Uncrop.
enhance it.
I'm still thinking of like how Worf got rid of those Ferengi. Like he walked into the quarters with like a phaser on like the highest setting, and he like waves it around like a garden hose and just vaporizes them. He's like
grabs him by the ear and just drags
Yeah.
him out.
But no,
Yeah.
no, he just vaporizes them. He's like, Picard doesn't read my reports. You know, he doesn't take my
Okay.
job seriously.
So here's
He
an
won't
AI
care.
enhance of the light pattern. I mean, it did some interesting work. It's not correct, but it's interesting. It got the fact that there were like distinct things where, like, this is a circle, this is a circle, 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 circle over here. It made them distinct, but it's not the right shape at all.
Yeah.
What if I make it? I could apparently make it 695 times bigger. I don't know why that's an option. I probably just crashed it. Let me make it 100 times bigger.
I bet if we crash Ryan's computer, we can end the stream early.
Oh,
I mean, you can also just leave. You're not obligated to stay.
No, I want to end it early for everyone.
I got something I
I
wanted
just
to.
want to watch the world
I
burn.
understand the meaning of duty, so I'm gonna stick it out.
I'm gonna stay.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm
Duty.
gonna stick it out too. But
Duty.
All right. In any case, we discovered that that is in fact a triangle ship, And
Up to
I only have one
38
final thing to
triangles.
say before we end the stream, and that's the higher, the fewer.
Oh boy. You guys.
That was a plot.
Does that mean that the lower, the more many?
Embarrassing.
I always took it